Don't miss myself and my Hall of Fame casting crew as we break down every story in and out of the ring and talk to the top names in the business, like the legend himself, The Undertaker.
I'm actually glad to be on a real show.
Catch Busted Open live every day from 9 to noon Eastern on SiriusXM Fight Nation, channel 156, and on the SiriusXM app.
Jays fans, John Schneider joins MLB Network Radio every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern on SiriusXM 89 and the SiriusXM app.
This
Slams the ball to right field, way back, way gone!
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second, the throw! In time!
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
A trip to the Pacific Northwest. The Blue Jays flew up from Los Angeles last night and landed in Seattle, where today they take on the Mariners for the first of 3 games at T-Mobile Park. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Joe Ali is our host and producer, and Tom Young is our technical director. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Scarborough, on Shepherd Avenue, on St. Clair Avenue, and on Midwest Road. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown Protection. We got a marquee pitching matchup tonight to open up this series. Right-hander Luis Castillo will start off this game pitching for the Mariners, and opposite him is Kevin Gausman. Lineups, standings, first pitch coming up on the other side. The Blue Jays and Mariners next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, streaming at sportsnet.ca, on the Sportsnet app, and on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
A team's defense is as precious as gold.
Oh, what a catch! A great catch by Dalton Varsho.
Brilliant displays of athleticism, pure talent, instinct, and ability.
And it's caught!
An invaluable defensive presence. He is simply
the best outfielder in baseball.
On Wednesday, May 14th, celebrate this golden honor with the Dalton Varsho Gold Glove bobblehead. Available for the first 15,000 fans in attendance. Your golden chance for tickets awaits at BlueJays.com. Lights up, let's go.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Advent Health 400 from Kansas Speedway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, in the car and on the SiriusXM app. For up-to-date betting lines, fantasy plays, and the latest NASCAR news, catch the pre-race show before every Cup Series race. Plus, 2 hours of post-race coverage on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
The UFC is on SiriusXM. Hear all the action live from the Octagon every weekend on SiriusXM Fight Nation Channel 156.
They're obviously playing really well, and they can pitch, they can hit for power. Yeah, I think that we match up well against these guys. And there's been a lot of really close games, one-run games, back and forth. That happens when you play teams, whether it's postseason or when things happen. Competitiveness comes out. So I think it's hopefully going to be a hard-fought series, and hopefully it's not as many one-run games, and we're on the good side of it. But they seem to play us tough. We seem to play them tough.
That was Blue Jays manager John Schneider talking before today's game about the competitiveness of this series. Second time and final time during the regular season that the Blue Jays and Mariners match up after the Mariners took 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays in Toronto in April, although a series that probably a lot of people in and around the Blue Jays felt they should have won, especially considering what happened in Game 2. We wipe that aside now, though, as the Blue Jays enter the second series against Seattle. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, and he mentioned it, Chris. This is a really hot Seattle Mariners team, one of the best teams right now in the American League.
And he said they can hit and they can pitch. They can certainly do both. And Luis Castillo is one of their better starters. We were questioning whether he was the same guy. Last time he pitched against the Toronto Blue Jays on April 20th, he went 5 innings, 10 hits, 3 earned runs. I thought he was fine. I thought the stuff was good. I thought the demeanor out there was good. And he's really proving it over his last 2 starts. He's thrown 12 innings and given up 1 earned run. He's back to being the Luis Castillo that dominates the big leagues.
We'll see him in just a matter of minutes, but before we get there, let's go back to baseball control. Here's today's host, Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Welcome back inside Baseball Control, everyone. Show Ali with you at our downtown Toronto studios. First pitch at T-Mobile Park coming in a couple of minutes. First of 3 between the Jays and Mariners. We will get to the starting lineups for both teams in a sec, but first, let's check out the Bet365 standings update. At Bet365, you can bet on popular markets like hits, home runs, and total bases. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. So it is a little late here on a Friday evening, but many of the teams in the division are still playing, and a couple haven't actually started yet apart from the Blue Jays. So with all of that in mind, here are the standings before some of these games wrap up. The Yankees enter play at 21-16. The Red Sox are 20-19. The Blue Jays, after winning 8-5 last night, are 17-20. The Rays 16-21, and the Orioles are 13-23. So right now, the Brewers are in Florida taking on the Rays. It is currently 3-3, bottom of the 8th inning. The bases are juiced for the Rays with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see if that score changes before first pitch. And the Red Sox are currently in KC taking on the Royals. Bottom 8, runners on first and second with 1 out. There have been no runs scored in that game. It is 0-0 Red Sox and Royals, bottom of the 8th inning at Kauffman Stadium. So we'll check in on that one as well throughout the evening. And both the Orioles and the Yankees are out west as well. Baltimore will take on the Angels in Anaheim, and the Yankees will play the Athletics in Sacramento. The O's will start momentarily, and the Yankees will actually go at the top of the next hour. So there will be the latest game on the MLB schedule. And there you go. The Rays just take a lead there, up 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. So we'll keep an eye on that for the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard tonight. Before we get you over to Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue, who are standing by for the call of today's ball game, let's get to the starting lineups. Here's how John Schneider lines things up. Bo Bichette is batting leadoff. He is at shortstop. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is at first base. He is batting second. It looks like it's an off day for Anthony Santander. So Dalton Varsho is batting third. He's in center field. George Springer is batting cleanup. He is DHing. Addison Barger is batting fifth at third base. Ernie Clement is batting sixth at second base. Nathan Lucas is in right field batting seventh. An off day for Alejandro Kirk. Has Tyler Heineman catching. He is batting eighth. And Jonathan Clase slots back in there. He is batting ninth. He is in left field. Kevin Gausman starts for the Blue Jays. And here's Mariners manager Dan Wilson's starting lineup. J.P. Crawford is batting leadoff. He's at shortstop. Jorge Polanco is batting second. Julio Rodriguez batting third in center field. Cal Raleigh is catching, batting cleanup. Randy Arozarena is in left field, batting fifth. At first base is old pal Rowdy Tellez, batting sixth. Leody Taveras is in right field, batting seventh. Dylan Moore is batting eighth at second base. And Ben Williamson is at third base. He is batting ninth. They will all be on the field behind Luis Castillo, who is making another start for the M's. All right, we are getting very close to first pitch at T-Mobile Park, so let's get you over to the call of the game. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Blue Jays getting set from Seattle on a sunny day on the Pacific Northwest. Toronto looking to improve upon this road trip. They obviously did not have the series that they wanted to have in Anaheim against the Angels, dropping the first two before salvaging the series a little bit with a victory. But, Chris, they might have came out with a little bit of momentum at least because of the big offensive performance they had to fuel that one win in Anaheim.
Well, yeah, I think I think they did. I think that yesterday's ball game, as tough as the last two games before that had been, they performed really, really well yesterday. They came up with the big hit. Yes, they left the bases loaded in that first inning, and we were questioning whether they could come up with the base hit, but eventually they did, and it was almost like the pressure was let off their shoulders, and they figured it out. But I think that was a really big game for them, offensively at least, and it might have been a turning point in this season.
We'll see if it translates now against, like Chris had mentioned earlier, one of the better pitchers in the American League, maybe the best starter right now, healthy for the Mariners, Luis Castillo. Right-hander, is 6'2", 200 pounds, 32-year-old from the Dominican Republic. Long, dark dreadlock hair into a ponytail flowing down the back of his jersey and covering the lettering. Castillo is 3-2 with a 3.29 ERA in 7 starts. He winds and offers to Bo Bichette. First pitch inside, ball 1. Time of the first pitch today, 9:40 Eastern, 6:40 local. The 1-0. Called strike with a breaking ball. Game time temperature, 17 degrees in Seattle. Bit of a gray day, although that's not atypical for the Pacific Northwest. 1-1 is lined right field, and that's a foul ball, just sliced wide of the right field line, or it would have been extra bases for Bo Bichette.
Well, that was a sinker right down the middle at the bottom of the strike zone, but Bo Bichette, as we've seen so often this season, he just drills it the other way. Unfortunately, it was about 2 or 3 feet foul.
Got to be on time for the heater with Castillo. That's what you're going to see the most, whether it's the four-seamer or the sinker. Righty steps to the left, kicks and deals. And the pitch fouled off to the right.
He throws a heater 68% of the time. He throws that four-seam fastball 45% of the time, and then the sinker 23% of the time. Got to be ready for it.
Mid-90s with both fastballs. Is 1-2. Fouled back again. Bichette has been on the heater so far. Bo Bichette leading off in the all-gray road uniform for the Blue Jays. Toronto across the front. The Mariners are wearing their City Connect uniforms. 1-2. Down and away. We were talking about it before the game. Kind of a royal blue. They call it officially rush blue, whatever that means.
That's what it is.
That's a real color?
No,
Okay.
I'm just joking.
You had me. 2-2. Swing and a foul ball right side. Again into the seats. 7 pitches already for Bo Bichette. So it's rush blue, whatever that means. And then Amarillo, yellow, as I think many people would describe it, is the font across the front.
More of a gold.
2-2. Outside, ball 3. Missed by about half a ball, maybe a little bit more, with a 94-mile-per-hour fastball. Full count.
I think Castillo thought he got that pitch. He turned around, took about 3 or 4 steps towards center field. Maybe he was just frustrated.
Now it's 3-2. Down and away, ball 4. That is a way to lead off a ball game. See 9 pitches and get aboard. It's a leadoff walk for Bo Bichette.
How about that at-bat? Fouled off some tough pitches. Took some good swings in that at-bat, too. And then took a tough slider below the strike zone. A big leadoff walk for the Blue Jays here.
You mentioned Castillo's last start against the Blue Jays, where he was pretty good. April 20th, 5 innings, 10 hits, 3 earned runs. Bo and Vlad had big days against him. The pitch to Vlad Guerrero Jr. called a strike. Balls and strikes being handled by Nick Lentz, Vic Carapaza at first, Mark Ripperger at second, and Edwin Jimenez at third base. Tonight's umpiring crew. Right on right. Castillo unleashes the 0-1 from the stretch. Down and in with the sinker. See already so much movement both to the arm side and down towards the dirt on that sinker.
The velo is not quite where we saw it when he was in Toronto a couple weeks ago. A lot of 92s, a lot of 93s so far in this ball game.
1-1. Yanked it down and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. For Castillo, his 4th season with Seattle, 3rd full season after being traded over from Cincinnati in 2022. Reds are the only other ball club that Castillo has pitched for in the major leagues. 2-1. Outside. Near miss, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike.
And again, Luis Castillo staring in at Nick Lentz. Didn't like that call, but it was just off the plate outside.
And in fairness to Nick Lentz, while it barely missed outside, it was a huge miss of the spot. Cal Raleigh reached all the way across the plate to bring it in. 3-1 pitch downstairs, ball 4. Back-to-back walks for the Blue Jays to start the game. This first inning brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Armstrong Bird Food, the reason birds fly north, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Cal Raleigh out from behind home plate, giving some signals to his defense in case something happens on the base paths. Dalton Varsho is up to the plate. Perhaps some signals about a bunt as well, as the third baseman Ben Williamson comes into play even with the bag. Right on left pitch. Inside and low, ball 1.
I was about to say, I hope he doesn't bunt. He was 3 for 4 in yesterday's ball game with a home run. Let this guy swing away.
Also had an RBI double in the game. Probably his best game of very few so far this year. 1-0 inside, check swing, and he did go around on a late call by Nick Lentz, 1-1. I mean, very few games overall, not very few good games for Varsho. He's gone deep 3 times. He's only started 6 games this year. He's been a lot more good than otherwise. The 1-1. Fouled back. Fastball over the heart of the plate. A good pitch to hit there, but he just got under it. And now he adjusts his elbow protector and takes a breath before the 1-2. First and second for the Blue Jays. No score, nobody out. Top of the first inning. 18th pitch for Castillo. Called strike 3. Perhaps Varsho sitting on something else, took a fastball over the plate, and he goes down for the first out.
Yeah, he was obviously fooled. He was walking back to the dugout even before that call was made. I'm not sure what he's thinking up there. That's a pitch that you should at least react to, try to foul off, even if you're fooled. It's a tough strikeout right there for the Blue Jays.
Huge out for Castillo, who didn't have an out through 17 pitches. Now with 1 out and still 2 on, here's George Springer. Castillo's pitch. Low ball 1. Springer getting used to this treatment already in LA. He goes to another former AL West rival, facing off with the Seattle Mariners. The 1-0. Check swing, pitch outside. Is that a called strike by Nick Lentz?
Yeah, that's interesting. That was way off the plate outside.
Counts 1-1. Springer, right-handed hitter, DHing today. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Sinker landed right at the knees. Springer with a big cut over top of it, 1-2.
The interesting thing about that first called strike, though, that we obviously thought was a ball, George Springer was nodding his head. So maybe we're wrong.
Maybe he did call it on the swing. Maybe the strike box is way off. Who knows? 1-2. Low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. It was dropped by Raleigh, but it wasn't that close anyway. Springer used his good eye at the plate yesterday to walk 3. Came around to score each of the 3 times he was on base in the Blue Jays' 8-5 win. He awaits a 2-2 and fouls it off of his own foot. It rolls down the third baseline. Springer skipped across the plate for a moment, but it looks like he's feeling all right as he adjusts his batting gloves. His very vibrant pink and orange and neon batting gloves, and steps back in. Castillo offers. Low ball 3. Put his hands on the back of his head for a moment, Luis Castillo. Perhaps just adjusting the cap, but got to feel a little bit of stress as the starter. He's thrown 24 pitches in the top of the first. There's 1 out and runners on first and second.
Blue Jays are doing a really good job working counts. And this one no different.
The payoff pitch. Swing and a ground ball. Diving block at third, Williamson. But that's all he can do. Picks it up off the grass in foul territory. It's an infield hit for George Springer. And everyone moves up a base. Bases loaded. 1 out.
Well, Ben Williamson made a heck of a play over there at third base. He didn't catch the baseball, but he's probably saved a couple of runs. Bo Bichette definitely comes around to score. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was running hard to second base. He probably scores. What a play over there. Bases loaded, though, and 1 out for the Blue Jays here.
Williamson, a rookie, playing in his 20th Major League game. Helping out Luis Castillo, who's now in a discussion with Cal Raleigh. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer. Tom Young, our technical director. And the Blue Jays in a big spot. Bases loaded, 1 out. No score, top of the first. We had mentioned off the top of the broadcast, the Blue Jays, while scoring 8 yesterday, stranded the bases loaded after having them with nobody out in the top of the first in last night's game. Pitch to Addison Barger. Swing and a sharp grounder, foul, first base side, 0-1.
I like this matchup here. Addison Barger loves hitting fastballs, and Luis Castillo loves throwing fastballs. We'll see what happens.
Barger 7 for 41 in 16 games to start his year. All 3 of his doubles have come on heaters. The 0-1. Low. Couldn't get him to chase the slider at the ankles. 1 ball, 1 strike.
In his last game, though, against the Blue Jays, he did throw some good changeups, so I'm wondering if he's going to try to sneak a changeup in there at some point during this at-bat.
Would make sense against a left-handed hitter like Barger. The pitch. Swing and a liner down in right field. Rolling toward the warning track. Bichette scores. Guerrero scores. Springer to third. And Barger into second with a first inning 2-run double. It's 2-0 Toronto.
And how about that? Right on cue. That was a changeup right down the middle. And Addison Barger waits back and hammers that thing 110 miles an hour into right field. A couple of RBIs, and the Blue Jays are still in business here. Second and third, and still 1 out in this inning.
A big extra base hit with runners in scoring position for Barger. 4th double, 4th and 5th RBIs, and he ripped that ball to right and got on his horse, busting it all the way to second. Infield in now, pitch to Ernie Clement. Outside, no. Called a strike. 0-1. If first inning is any indication, there's going to be a thick outside edge of the strike zone to right-handed hitters. 0-1 to Ernie. Well outside. That one's ball 1.
Looks like the black part of that plate is a little bit wider tonight. I don't know about you, but
I mean, you're a former pitcher. You must love that. Get an extra inch or two.
I love a big zone.
Hasn't helped Castillo, though. Here's his 31st pitch of the inning. Bounced over the mound. No, Castillo jumps and reels it in. Looks back the runner and throws to first. Nice play by the pitcher. Keeps Springer at third and Barger at second. Now 2 outs.
Well, that's about best case scenario for Luis Castillo. The infield was in, and he got weak contact off the bat of Ernie Clement. A pretty easy play over there at first base. Keeping George Springer at third base. Now there's 2 outs in this inning.
Good for the Blue Jays. They didn't have Springer off on contact, or he probably would have got caught there. Instead, he remains on third, 2 in scoring position, 2 outs. 2 outs in the pitch to Nathan Lucas. Called strike. Luis Castillo threw 88 pitches in his last start. He's thrown more than a third of that here in the first inning. His 32nd of the day. Swing and a miss. Fastball in off the plate. 0-2. Lucas starting in right field today. Bearded left-handed hitter. 260, 727 on base plus slugging. 0-2. Lifted to shallow center. Rodriguez is jogging forward, and Julio Rodriguez will make the catch to end the inning. The Blue Jays get a pair in the first, though, on 2 hits. They do leave 2 on, but it's Addison Barger's 2-run double that has it at 2-0 Toronto, middle of 1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL 3-topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca. At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Breaking news coming 6-5. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Runner going, throw down to second. They got him.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Kevin Gausman flipping away a baseball as he gets a new one before he begins his 8th start of this season. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Kevin Gausman making his 8th start. He's 2-3 with a 3.83 earned run average. His pitch to J.P. Crawford. Left-handed hitter takes strike one. Gausman, 34 years old, native of Colorado, 6'2", 205 pounds, coming off 6 shutout innings against the Cleveland Guardians. Right on left. Fastball called low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
In Kevin Gausman's last start against Cleveland on May 3rd, that was some of the best pure stuff I've seen out of that right arm, probably, I would say, in the last 12 months. Last year was a little bit up and down. This year's been a little bit up and down, but that last start was pretty incredible.
1-1 pitch is a splitter low, 2-1. Four-seamer, splitter, slider. Had a sinker last year, hasn't really used it, but he can. That's the mix for the right-hander Gausman. The 2-1. Swing and a pop-up. Just back of third, veering toward foul territory, but it stays fair, and Bo Bichette, the shortstop, makes the catch out in shallow left. 1 out.
Big first out on a pretty good fastball down in the strike zone. J.P. Crawford's been seeing the baseball really well. It's good to get him out.
There are no easy outs, really, up and down this Seattle lineup. This is Major League Baseball's 5th highest scoring offense at 5.14 runs per game, about a run and a half more than the Toronto Blue Jays. 1 out, switch hitter batting left. Jorge Polanco comes to the plate. Eye black on. The pitch. Popped up foul, third base side again, but that one has enough on it to get over the dugout and into the seats. 0-1. Polanco technically a switch hitter, but continues to deal with a minor oblique issue that's limiting him to only hitting left so far this year. 0-1. Fastball low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think it's working out pretty well for him.
It is. You almost wonder, Jorge, should you hit left all the time? Because he's hitting .348 with a 1.103 on base plus slugging, 9 homers. The 1-1. Down and in, 2-1.
He has been an all-star in his career, so yes, he's shown glimpses of what he's doing right now, but I think this is the best he's looked for the majority of his career.
I'd have to agree. Second year with Seattle. The 2-1. Swing and a ground ball off the mound. Fielded up the middle by Bo Bichette. His sidearm throw to first in time. 2 outs.
Bo Bichette was perfectly placed right back, almost behind second base. Made the easy play and a nice throw across the diamond to get Jorge Polanco for out number 2.
To hit for 100 years? Not anymore. The shift might have been curtailed, but it is not dead, and Bo Bichette was right there to take a hit away from Polanco. 2 outs, bases empty, 2-0 Blue Jays, bottom 1. And Gausman deals to Julio Rodriguez. Swing and a fly ball, left center field. Dalton Varsho ranging over to the gap and moving in, makes a one-handed catch to end the inning. 1-2-3 for Kevin Gausman, 2-0 Blue Jays after an inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Music legends honor their hero and friend.
Without Jimmy Buffett, there is no Kenny Chesney. Jimmy's dreams validated my journey and my dreams.
Made it less hypothetical.
The Coral Reefer Band's Mac McAnally and Kenny Chesney share stories and music. Hear it anytime and anywhere with the SiriusXM app. Just search Kenny Chesney.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on SiriusXM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on SiriusXM or streaming anytime on the SiriusXM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
This is Mike Farron from Power Alley. When you work together as long as former general manager Jim Duquette and I have.
5 years.
13. Regardless, we know everything about each other, like my favorite city.
New York.
Chicago. My favorite food.
Hot dog with lots of ketchup.
Gross. My favorite musician.
Billy Joel.
Somehow even more gross. Jim, what do you actually know about me?
You love baseball, just like me.
Join us for baseball talk and apparently very little else on Power Alley, weekdays, 10 a.m. Eastern, MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Well said, Mitch.
It's Mike.
24/7, 365. Coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Second inning from T-Mobile Park in Seattle. The Blue Jays ahead of the Mariners so far, 2-0. Luis Castillo back on the hill. Tyler Heineman, the switch hitting catcher, is up in the pitch. Outside, ball one. Heineman, Jonathan Clase, and then Bo Bichette. 8-9-1 for the Blue Jays this inning. Toronto put 4 aboard and scored 2 runs in the first. Next pitch is hit high, right field. Veering back toward the corner, Leody Taveras, and he made the grab. Hidden deep in the corner in foul territory. Leody Taveras comes down with it. Tough luck for Heineman, as if that ball's 2 feet to the right, it's into the seats, but that'll be the first out.
When Tyler Heineman made contact with that baseball, he made a big grimace. So I'm wondering what happened on that swing.
First pitch to Jonathan Clase outside, ball one.
Hopefully it's nothing serious. He did run to first base and ran back to the dugout, so he's looking okay.
Another switch hitter up now. Clase bats from the left side, 1-0. High and outside, 2-0. Jonathan Clase returning to the place where he debuted in the major leagues. Played 19 games with the Mariners last year. Was at AAA Tacoma when he was traded to the Blue Jays. 2-0 pitch, cut and a miss, 2-1. You can tell he still, of course, has a lot of ties over there. He had a long chat with Julio Rodriguez in center field before today's game. The 2-1. Swing and a fly ball out to left, slicing foul and out of play, 2-2. Third major league game this year for Clase. He's 1 for 8 so far, 2 strikeouts. The 2-2. Outside, a little high again. A lot of arm side high misses right now. It's a full count.
Pretty good take right there. That one didn't miss by much. Again, working a good count.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a grounder hit to second base sharply. Picked up near the ankles by Moore. He throws over to first. 2 down.
Pretty nice play by Dylan Moore over there. Jonathan Clase was all over that pitch. Hit it hard on the ground. Right at Dylan Moore for the out.
Dylan Moore, a utility Gold Glover in the American League. 2 down, top of the order coming up. It's Bo Bichette, who walked to start the game in a 9-pitch at-bat and came around to score. First pitch is in there, strike one. This second inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet on popular markets like hits, home runs, and total bases. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Bichette hits the 0-1 foul off of his toes, rolling up the third baseline towards Ben Williamson. It's 0-2. See, that shook up Bichette just a little bit. He went down, rubbed his toe, took a step or two out of the box. Oof. He does not have the foot extension on his light-colored shin guard.
Yeah, he wears that half shin guard protection, but that foot is fully exposed.
2 down, bases empty, the 0-2. Low, good take by Bichette. Started the swing, yanked it back as the slider kept dipping below the zone. Ball 1.
Again, Luis Castillo wanted that pitch, staring in at Nick Lentz. I think they're both in for a long night.
A breath from Castillo. He winds and offers. And a late check swing, poke foul by Bichette. He could not have started that swing later on his slider that hung up in the zone. He literally stuck the bat out and just poked it off the tip at the last moment.
You think he was fooled by that pitch?
I think just a little. No, he was all over. 1-2. Swing and a liner down in left field. Over the leap of the shortstop Crawford. Bo Bichette's aboard for the second time in as many innings.
And they tried to come inside. They actually did get it inside. It was in off the plate, 95 miles an hour. And Bo Bichette rips those hands through and hammers it into left field for a big base hit.
Bo with a hit and a walk so far. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up to the plate now. He walked and scored in the first, just like Bo. Castillo's pitch. No, it's going to be a step off and throw to first. Bichette back in with a dive. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hitting .295 with an .818 on base plus slugging, 7 doubles, 4 homers, 18 RBIs. Now the first pitch. Swing and a fly ball, right field, slicing toward foul territory. It'll go out of play about the 6th or 7th row of seats. It's 0-1. Vladdy career 4 for 13 against Luis Castillo. 2 doubles, 2 walks. Righty twists his hips to look at first. Now comes at the bell. Castillo's 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Luis Castillo seems like he's really paying attention to Bo Bichette over there. I would imagine that Bo is not going to try to steal second and potentially take the bat out of Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s hands.
3.5 step lead for Bo. 1-1. Well outside and low. 2-1.
And now you look for that fastball. You look for that fastball inner third, right down the middle. And if you don't get it, you don't swing the bat.
It's been all over the place so far for Castillo, who's thrown 50 pitches in an inning and 2/3. Runner on first, 2 outs, and the 2-1 is well outside again. Ball 3. He's yanking a lot. He's missing arm side high a lot. This is just not the usual performance so far from Castillo.
Yeah, that last fastball was really nowhere near the strike zone, almost in the other batter's box.
3-1. Swing and a ground ball up the middle. More position right there. Picks it up, goes to the second base bag, and ends the inning. No runs for the Blue Jays on a hit. They leave 1 on, and they lead 2-0 middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. For our participating location, visit timbermart.ca.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face. Come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Lights up, let's go to Junior J Sundays. It's family fun throughout the ballpark with games and activities that your squad will never forget.
Feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Jose Berrios, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Home half of the second, and the big dumper stepping up for Seattle. Catcher Cal Raleigh bends his knees, touches the plate, and now looks up at Kevin Gausman, the starter for the Blue Jays. Toronto leading 2-0. Switch hitter bats left. Here's Gausman's pitch. Fastball, check swing, and a called strike. Raleigh is Major League Baseball's home run leader, at least tied for it, with 12 home runs on the year, batting .246. The 0-1. Bounced, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Tons of power from Cal Raleigh, and you can bet that Kevin Gausman is going to be careful with him. A good fastball to start him off with a strike, and then he threw that split finger, really nowhere near the strike zone, but Cal Raleigh really hits any mistake. So if you pitch something over the middle of the plate, he's probably going to hit it.
Another splitter on the 1-1, and it misses low. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Raleigh, then Randy Arozarena and Rowdy Tellez. 4-5-6 for Seattle. The pitch. Hit on the ground sharply. Foul, first base side, 2-2. Tripled up on the splitter. That one was going to be a strike, so he finally got the swing from Cal Raleigh. Gausman rocks and offers. Foul off to the left. Fastball was sliced away. Still 2-2. Nine-pitch first inning for Kevin Gausman. Got Crawford, Polanco, Rodriguez in order. This is a team typically he's fared pretty well against in his career. This is his 11th start, 12th game against Seattle. 2-2. Hit back foul again, 96, but about a foot off the plate. Raleigh reached for it to spoil it.
He is such an interesting guy to watch pitch. A fastball early on in this count was 91. That fastball was 96. It's rare that you see a guy throw 90 to 96 miles an hour, sometimes even 97, 98 miles an hour.
It's almost like his 91 is a changeup, but he throws it all the time, so it's not really. Raleigh had asked for time, so Gausman gets an extra second to think it over. Now steps back on the rubber, bouncing his left foot. He comes still, and another 2-2 pitch. Fastball popped up. Middle of the infield. Ernie Clement calling for it. The second baseman onto the infield. Grass makes the catch. 1 out. Clement was coming in, stepping back, and it looks like that gray sky could factor into the ballgame tonight.
Yeah, that was a tough one. There's no sun up there, but Ernie Clement had an obviously tough time catching that baseball. A big first out, though, in this inning.
Very gray in Seattle today. It's not very cold. It was 17 degrees at the time of first pitch. But like you said, not a lot of sun. 1 out, bottom of the second. Here's the pitch to Randy Arozarena. Hit on the ground, foul, 0-1. Very nice start to the year for this guy, Arozarena. Big, muscly, right-handed hitter who's playing left field today. Hitting only .223, but Arozarena with 7 doubles and 5 homers. He's driven in 18, and he's walked a ton. Takes the 0-1 right down the middle, strike 2. Longtime Ray Arozarena, famous for his 2020 playoff exploits. First full year with Seattle. The 0-2. Slider outside. First slider we've seen today. It misses. Ball 1. This is a second start in a row that Gausman works with Tyler Heineman. Heineman liked the look of his slider in his last start, he told me. 1-2 pitch is a splitter. Hit on the ground is short. Snared by Bichette. One step and a throw to first. A little high, but Vladdy reels it in while staying on the bag. 2 down.
And I think we talked about the slider, and both of us liked the look and the shape of his slider in his last start as well. It didn't have a lot of horizontal movement, which it sometimes does. It had a lot of that vertical drop to it, which is a tougher pitch to hit. When you get the horizontal movement, it's easier to barrel up, and then you get that good vertical movement. Really tough to barrel up.
Gausman, tough to barrel up so far, although he's only faced 5 batters. Here's his pitch now to Rowdy Tellez. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, takes a strike, 0-1.
Addison Barger was playing almost where the shortstop would normally play, so if he gets that bunt down, that's an easy base hit for him. I imagine he won't do it here.
Barger is daring him to try again. He hasn't moved from his spot. The 0-1. Called the ball. Probably had the zone, but he missed his spot so much it looked a little ugly, so it'll be ball 1.
Kevin Gausman's actually asking where that pitch was. He was pointing inside, asking home plate umpire Nick Lentz where that was. I mean, it was a strike, but he missed his spot, like you said, by quite a bit.
1-1. Swing and a miss. Splitter in the dirt. Tellez went fishing, 1-2. That ball 1. It's an ABS strike, but I think it's a pitch that 95% of humans call a ball.
It just looks bad.
Yeah.
It's an ugly strike. You want him to call a strike? Hit your spot. How about that?
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Doubled up on the splitter. Gets Tellez for his first punch out of the day. And it's 6 up, 6 down so far for Kevin Gausman. 2-0 Blue Jays. We're headed to the 3rd. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
A team's defense is as precious as gold.
Oh, what a catch! A great catch by Dalton Varsho.
Brilliant displays of athleticism, pure talent, instinct, and ability.
And it's caught!
An invaluable defensive presence. He is simply
the best outfielder in baseball.
On Wednesday, May 14th, celebrate this golden honor with the Dalton Varsho Gold Glove bobblehead. Available for the first 15,000 fans in attendance. Your golden chance for tickets awaits at BlueJays.com. Lights up, let's go.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
At Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Jose Barrios with a trio of strikeouts to end a scoreless 6.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 3rd, 2-0 Blue Jays, and Dalton Varsho leading off against Luis Castillo. The first pitch. Down and in, ball 1. T-Mobile Ballpark, the site of the first of 3 games here for the Blue Jays and the Mariners. And it's been the site of a lot of really good games between these two clubs. 1-0 pitch, cut on and missed, 1-1. Chris, the last 9 times these teams have played in Seattle, so going all the way back to 2022, 1 series a year, every game has been decided by 1 run or it's been an extra innings game. 1-1 pitch, foul back, 1-2.
That sounds like you're lying.
Check the numbers. I had to double check it after I saw it. The Mariners have come out on top in 6 of those 9. 1-2. Swing and a fly ball. Right center field. Taveras and Rodriguez converging. It'll be Julio Rodriguez making the catch as he turned to his right to make the play. 1 out.
That was a slider that got Dalton Varsho way out in front. I think he hit it off the end of the bat. Just a little weak fly ball into center field. Julio Rodriguez for out number 1.
It is right that these teams play close games, though. They are expansion brothers or cousins or whatever you want to call it. First pitch to George Springer inside, 1-0. With baseball in Toronto and Mariners baseball both starting in 1977. 1-0. Inside? No, it's called a strike. Good Lord. I mean, that's just not a strike. It's 1-1.
George Springer was really frustrated with that call.
Castillo's pitch. Hit on the ground is shortstop. Vacuumed up by Crawford, and the throw on to first. Caught low just above the dirt by Tellez. 2 outs. This third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Scarborough, on Shepherd Avenue, on St. Clair West Avenue, and on Midwest Road. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. 2 out, space is empty. The pitch to Addison Barger. Swing and a liner, left center field, and down for a base hit, and one hops into the wall. Barger around first, into second base with a second double of the day.
That was an absolute rocket off the bat of Addison Barger. In his first at-bat, he hammered a changeup, a hanging changeup to right field for a double, and this one hit that thing the other way. It was a fastball, a sinking fastball away, and what a beautiful swing. Just goes with it. One hops that wall out in left center. You think he's seeing the baseball well tonight?
Looks like it. Addison Barger on second, 2 outs. And now the pitch to Ernie Clement. Bounce to third base. That's going to veer foul, 0-1. Barger only hitting in that 5 spot really because Santander isn't in the lineup today, so Dalton Varsho has moved from 5 to 3. I mean, Barger would be hitting 6th maybe, but he's come up big twice today. Had a 2-run double and now a double to threaten here in the third. 2-0 Blue Jays, 2 outs. And the pitch to Ernie Clement. Low ball 1. Infield slightly shifted to the pull side for Clement. Second baseman Dylan Moore up the middle. 1-1. Swing and a liner down in right center. Coming around third. Barger sprints home. Ernie Clement's got an RBI single. The Blue Jays are up 3-0.
Luis Castillo left that slider up a little bit, and Ernie Clement made him pay for that mistake, hammering it the other way. What a swing from him. What a swing from Addison Barger. 3-0 Blue Jays.
5th hit for the Blue Jays already, who have been all over Luis Castillo early on. 3-0, 2 outs, top of the third. The pitch to Nathan Lucas with Clement on first. No, it's going to be a step off and throw over. Clement back with a dive.
These are big runs for the Toronto Blue Jays because this Seattle Mariners offense is very, very good. Every run matters.
And even in the Blue Jays' 8-run outburst yesterday, a lot of that came late. They haven't given starters cushions early very often. First pitch to Lucas, fouled back, 0-1. They've also continued to drive the pitch count up. Luis Castillo, with 2 outs in the top of the third, is about to throw his 65th of the day. His pitch. Called strike at the knees.
It's a lot easier to pitch when you don't feel like every single pitch matters. If you kind of have maybe a 3 or 4 run lead, you don't have to be perfect.
0-2. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lucas twirls around the bat. Now points it up right toward the sky. Now he'll bring it back to his left shoulder. Waggles it around a bit. 1-2. Swing and a fly ball. Right field. Going back to Veras at the warning track. It's gone! Second of the season for Nathan Lucas. A 2-run shot. It's Blue Jays 5, Mariners 0 in the third.
Well, Cal Raleigh had the target up and in, and Luis Castillo missed his spot by about a foot. And Nathan Lucas hammered that thing to right field. I don't know if he got jammed or not. He might not have barreled it up totally, but that is a good swing on a pretty good fastball in.
That is a tough pitch to turn on. It was not a bad location from Castillo. Now his pitch to Tyler Heineman is called a strike, 0-1.
I said he missed his spot by about a foot. It might have been about 4 inches. You're right. That wasn't a bad pitch. That was a great swing from him.
5-0 Blue Jays. 2 outs, top of the third. And Castillo knew it right away. He kicked a leg up in the air in frustration. 0-1. Broken bat, bouncer to second. Dylan Moore has it. Options to first to end the inning. All with 2 outs and the bases empty. The Blue Jays come up with 3 hits to score 3 runs. Double by Barger, RBI single by Clement, 2-run homer by Nathan Lucas. It's 5-0 Toronto, middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Every year, the NBA Draft can change the fortunes of a franchise.
The San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama.
Monday night, we'll find out who gets the #1 pick in the 2025 NBA Draft.
And an outlet pass for Cooper Flag. Cross him over and through it down.
It's the 2025 Draft Lottery.
Mark it down. That guy is going to be a star in this league.
Join us Monday night for coverage from Chicago all evening until 7:30 Eastern on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the SiriusXM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
Baseball is back. It's former general manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former big league GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
In season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Blue Jays 5, Mariners 0. Bottom of the third inning at T-Mobile Park. And Kevin Gausman back out on the hill. You want a cushion? You want to take some stress off your starting pitchers? The Blue Jays have done that in a way in this game that they maybe haven't done in a month or more. The pitch to Leody Taveras is low, ball 1.
And I know that it's a small sample size, just 2 innings in this ball game, but Kevin Gausman's looked pretty good as well.
6 up, 6 down, 12 pitches in the first inning, 12 pitches in the second inning. Here's 1-0. Called strike. Pardon me, 9 pitches in the first inning, 15 in the second, but still good. Now he faces a former Texas Ranger, second game as a Seattle Mariner. Leody Taveras, a switch hitter, batting left. The 1-1. Swing and a pop-up. Heineman turning around, and that one will go well out of play and land in between someone in a Josh Donaldson jersey and another jersey. I couldn't see the back of it. 1-2 count. Nobody out. Bases empty. Taveras will ask for time. World Series champion in 2023. Leody Taveras, a huge part of that Rangers team. Struggled at the plate and in the field last year. Got off to a rough start this year. And they placed him on waivers with this year and 2 more years of team control remaining. 1-2. Lifted to right field. Coming in Santander and toward the line. He calls for it. Pardon me, Lucas makes the catch. 1 out.
Lucas and Ernie Clement were converging on each other at the last second. Nathan Lucas called off Ernie Clement. He went left, and Lucas made the easy catch. But that was another good split finger from Kevin Gausman down in the zone. Taveras was way out in front of it.
It got him down to a knee pretty much as he golfed that ball. Kevin Gausman continues to roll. He'll face the number 8 hitter, although one of the better 8 hitters you'll find in baseball, Dylan Moore. Right on right, the pitch. Slider for a strike. 0-1. Moore batting .295 this year, .896 OPS, 2 doubles, 6 homers, 11 RBIs. He's also stolen 7 bases. 0-1. Swing and a miss at a second straight slider, 0-2.
It would be very difficult to find another 8-hole hitter with those numbers.
Yeah.
If not impossible.
And he, before this year, really hadn't been that guy, a utility player and a good utility player. 0-2. Slider again. This time Moore lays off. It landed down and away for ball 1.
That slider almost looks like a slurve. It's verging on a slurve type of shape.
The 1-2. Bounce to splitter. What do you see and that makes you think that?
Just bigger. I think sliders tend to be smaller, but also Kevin Gausman has shown the ability to throw an 81-mile-an-hour slider and then an 86-mile-an-hour slider. So I think a lot like his fastball, he kind of just plays with the velocities.
2-2. Splitter hit high and deep. Left field, going back Clase, turning at the wall. And that ball is foul. Home run distance by a mile, but just went about, 4 seats left to the pole?
Well, Dylan Moore wasn't sure if that ball was fair or foul. He was around first base when that ball hit the seats, but you're right. He got a lot of that baseball, just hit it foul.
The wind is actually blowing toward right field, according to the flags out in left. So the wind could have helped him a little bit, but didn't push it enough. Gausman with a break. Here's another 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Comes back with a great splitter for his second strikeout of the day.
That thing is really working tonight. You can see a good hitter, Dylan Moore, way out in front of it. Started in the strike zone, drops below the strike zone. That's exactly where you want that pitch.
2 down, bases empty, bottom of the third. And a welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth as Ben Williamson comes up. Gausman's pitch. Called strike. Timber Mart always has someone on deck to help you with any home improvement projects. Before you begin renovating, visit the team at Timber Mart. They've got the know-how to make sure you come out swinging on your next project. Timber Mart, Canada's building center. Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a line drive up the middle. One hops into center for a base hit. First base runner of the day is the 9-hitter for the Mariners. It's Ben Williamson extending the bottom of the third.
Well, that might have been Kevin Gausman's only bad pitch of the night so far. It was a slider that kind of just hung on the inside part of the plate, just a little spinner, and Williamson hammers that thing into center field.
That flips the lineup over and brings back up J.P. Crawford. When the Blue Jays saw him in April, he was hitting near or at the bottom of the order. Now he's back at the top. The pitch. Splitter just low, ball 1. And his patience, a big part of it. That was a really tough take. That pitch just missed. This year, Crawford, 23 walks to 25 strikeouts. The 1-0. Splitter for a strike. Really important for Gausman to throw a couple of those in the zone so teams don't just lay off every splitter he throws. 1 on, 2 outs, the pitch. Fastball missed low, 2 balls, 1 strike.
You hear a lot of guys say see it up, and I imagine that's part of the scouting report with Kevin Gausman. So like you said, it's really important that he's able to just throw strikes sometimes with that split finger.
2-1. Fastball just missed low again. Maybe a ball off the plate. 3 balls, 1 strike.
That was actually a pretty good pitch just off the plate. 94 miles an hour. Tyler Heineman holding that pitch there. He wanted that one.
It's tough to get J.P. Crawford to chase. He's one of those guys where it almost seems like he can see the strike box in real life in front of him. 3-1 pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball up the middle. That's going to get into right center for another base hit. Hitting the bag at second, Williamson races up to third. Back-to-back 2-out singles for the Mariners.
Well, that one there was just a seeing eye single. Wasn't really hit all that hard. Ernie Clement was kind of shaded towards that hole on the right side of the infield. Not a bad pitch. A fastball down and away. J.P. Crawford just finds a way to get on base and hits it up the middle.
This is where the Mariners get dangerous. They get on a lot, and this season, unlike many seasons before, they can hit the ball out. Jorge Polanco, with 9 home runs on the year, comes up with first and third, 2 down.
Well, Tyler Heineman went out to have a chat with Kevin Gausman. I'm sure they're just quickly going over their scouting report of Jorge Polanco. Hey, what pitch do you want to throw here? Might not even put a sign here because they actually discussed that out on the mound.
Polanco steps up and taps the plate. He flied out to center on the first pitch he saw in the first inning. 5-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the third. Gausman with the pitch. Swing and a bouncing ball right side, base hit into right field. Williamson scores. Crawford around second, heads into third. Throw back into second to limit it to a single for Polanco, but it's an RBI single to make it 5-1 for the Blue Jays.
Jorge Polanco was all over that hanging split finger from Kevin Gausman. Again, Jorge Polanco is seeing the baseball really well right now. He's a different guy than he was last year. Very powerful, very patient. And he rips that thing past Vlad at first base. Vlad almost got a glove on it over there. Good diving attempt.
That's going to prompt Pete Walker to come out to the mound. It's been a long inning for Kevin Gausman, and the Mariners have a chance to rally here. Still 2 on, still 2 out, and Julio Rodriguez is next to hit.
And I think Pete Walker is just slowing the pace a little bit, slowing that heart rate of Kevin Gausman, letting him know, hey, this is a 5-1 ball game. This is the big out that you want here. Don't worry about what's happened in this inning. Make a good pitch. Get this guy to ground out. Get this guy to pop out and get us back to the dugout.
Rodriguez hitting .226 on the year. Low to mid 700s OPS. 4 doubles, 2 triples, 6 homers. '22 American League Rookie of the Year. The right-handed hitter looks out to Kevin Gausman, who's bouncing to lead left foot. Gausman's pitch. Fastball fought away foul, 0-1.
How about that fastball? 96 miles an hour, down and in. Julio Rodriguez just gets a piece of it.
Rodriguez bends the knees a little bit. Very relaxed in his stance, right side. 0-1. Misses low with a splitter. 1 ball, 1 strike. Three 2-out singles in a row for the Mariners to get on the board. 5-1 Blue Jays, first and third, 2 outs. The pitch. Check swing on a splitter down and away, and he did go around. Strike 2.
They actually didn't even need to ask the first base umpire if he went, because Nick Lentz called that a swing. They didn't even need to ask. That's interesting. You could see the frustration from Julio Rodriguez walking away.
And Rodriguez will ask for time right before Gausman was about to deliver the 1-2. High black for Rodriguez despite the lack of sun. Right-handed hitter heating up a little bit as April has turned to May. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a chopper, foul, third base side. Fans in Seattle have gotten used to early season slumps at this point from Julio Rodriguez, who has been slow out of the gates now 3 seasons in a row. Doesn't mean he won't turn it around. He did that in a big way in 2023. One-two pitch. Splitter lined and caught at third by Addison Barger. stabbed his arm out to his right toward the foul line and took extra bases away to end the inning. The Mariners do get 1 on 3 hits. They leave a pair on base, and the Blue Jays still up. It's 5-1 Toronto after 3 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The PGA Championship is coming, and you can hear all the action on Sirius XM.
Here it comes, down the slope, the shot of the week.
Rory McIlroy completed the career Grand Slam in April. Can Jordan Spieth do the same at Quail Hollow?
Cool thing if you're able to hold all 4. There's just not many people in the game that have done that, and that's what kind of stands the test of time.
PGA Championship Radio returns Monday on Channel 92 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on Sirius XM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on Sirius XM or streaming anytime on the Sirius XM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
Blue Jays fans, no matter where you are, you won't miss a pitch with the SiriusXM app. Hear every game all season long. Download the SiriusXM app and search Blue Jays.
Top of the 4th inning, 5-1 Blue Jays. And the first pitch to Jonathan Clase lands in the zone. A strike from Luis Castillo to get ahead 0-1. Now the 0-1, down and in. Clase leading off for the Blue Jays. Switch hitting left fielder, and then Bo Bichette and Vlad Guerrero Jr. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Change up. Started on the plate. Broke outside. 1-2. Clase asks for time. Good time to let you know the 4th inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet on popular markets like hits, home runs, and total bases. Download the app. Find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Fly ball out to left. Randy Arozarena doesn't have to move a muscle. He makes the catch right in place. 1 down. At one point, it could have been Jonathan Clase as a future left fielder for the Mariners, but they acquired Jimmy Garcia at the deadline from the Blue Jays last year. Plus, they acquired Randy Arozarena from the Rays, filling that spot.
I like Clase. I like what he brings. Even his at-bats when he gets out. That at-bat right there wasn't that bad. 315 this year at AAA, 15 stolen bases.
First pitch to Bo Bichette is lined right field. Foul. 0-1. Bichette with a single and a walk today. A run scored. 0-1. Outside. Very measured day at the plate so far for Bo. 1-1. Outside 2-1. He has hardly expanded at all through 2 plate appearances.
Yeah, looks really comfortable up there. Obviously just saw Luis Castillo a couple of weeks ago, so he knows exactly what he looks like. But he looks comfortable in that batter's box right now.
2-1 pitch, hit back foul, 2-2. Bo had 2 hits in that start on April 20th against Luis Castillo. Both of them came early on. 2-2 pitch. Little bouncer out to shortstop. Charging, bobbled by Crawford. Still snaps the throw to first, but it bounces away and down the right field line. Bichette around first, headed to second, and he'll stop there.
Well, that's one of those plays that if you bobble it and you're trying to rush it, you don't have a good grip on that baseball, just keep that baseball in your hand, put it in your back pocket. No need to try to throw that baseball. J.P. Crawford throws that thing nowhere near first base, really. Although Rowdy Tellez should have come off the bag and at least attempted to catch that baseball, I have to say it's probably Rowdy Tellez's fault that he didn't catch that baseball.
They'll give Bo Bichette a single, by the way, and then advancing to second on the error. So he's got 2 hits today, and he's in scoring position for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The pitch. Swing and a fly ball right field. Started back now, moving toward the line. Leody Taveras makes a chest-high catch. Bichette tags from second and slides into third. There are now 2 outs.
Your job as a first baseman, number 1, is to catch the baseball. Number 2 is to get the out at first base. And Rowdy Tellez tried to keep his foot on the base, tried to reach for that baseball. I think he almost knew that he couldn't catch the baseball. That's what it looked like to me. That was a weird play over there. Rowdy Tellez is actually a good first baseman.
And J.P. Crawford, usually a very sure-handed shortstop. 2 outs, runner on third base. 5-1 Blue Jays, top of the 4th. Castillo to Dalton Varsho. Inside. Considering Castillo went over 30 pitches in the first, he's actually managed the pitch count okay. Is 1-0. Ball hit on the ground, foul, first base side, 1-1. But it would be hard to imagine him going further than completing the 5th inning. And he threw 88 in his last start, so maybe even that's ambitious. He's on 81 right now with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. The 1-1. High, ball 2.
I would imagine, let's say hypothetically he gets out of this inning right here. He could finish the 5th.
It's possible.
Yeah. I mean, if his pitch count is 88, I don't see that happening, but maybe 95 or 100.
Next offering. Hit back foul by Varsho. A hop off the mound from Castillo, who might have got away with a fastball over the heart of the plate there. It's 2-2.
Yeah, Dalton Varsho was all over that pitch, just a hair behind it, fouling it back, just missed it.
Bichette leading off in foul territory from third in the eye line of the starter Castillo. 2-2. Lined right field. That's going to hook foul into the side netting. Varsho 0 for 2 so far. Strikeout looking and a fly out to center field. He's 6 for 24 on the year. 4 of his 6 hits have gone for extra bases. Another 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Top of the zone fastball gets Varsho on Castillo's 85th pitch of the start. He finishes off the top of the 4th inning. No runs for the Blue Jays. 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. And it's 5-1 Toronto, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL 3-topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca. Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Make no payments for 12 months with the Timber Mart Deferred Payment Program. Apply for a Timber Mart project card today and pay later, 12 months later. Financing provided by Fairstone Financial Inc. Conditions apply. Ask in-store for details or apply at timbermart.ca. Locally owned, proudly Canadian. Timber Mart is Canada's building center.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Kirk smacks it down the left field line. This one's got a chance. It's gone!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. 5-1 Blue Jays as we start the bottom of the 4th. Kevin Gausman's pitch is cut on and missed by Cal Raleigh. Great splitter, 0-1. Mentor Raleigh, left fielder Arozarena, first baseman Tellez. The 0-1. Bounced, 1 ball, 1 strike. Raleigh has been a problem for a lot of Blue Jays. Kevin Gausman has been one of them. Career 5 for 12, 3 home runs against Kevin Gausman. The pitch. Swing and a line drive foul right side near Eric Young Jr., the first base coach for the Mariners. We just saw Eric Young Sr. base coaching for the Angels. It's 1-2.
They're all over the league.
And they get to see each other 13 times a year. And they actually just moved the Angels' Eric Young Sr. from third base coach to first base coach, so now they're both first base coach as well. And that's more base coach talk than I expected we'd have today, even though I brought it up. 1-2 pitch. Hit away, foul. Tried to go up with the heater. Actually ended up delivering it to the knees. It worked anyway as Raleigh just got a piece of it.
Wasn't a bad pitch, like you said, 96 miles an hour, but he missed his spot by quite a bit.
Another 1-2. Fastball hit away. Hit his spot that time. It was right on the outside corner, but it was fouled off again.
What do you throw now? You've thrown 2 good fastballs, 96, 95 miles an hour. You throw the split because now Raleigh is looking for the split. I go fastball up and in here.
1-2. High fastball hit away. Didn't get it up as much as he wanted to, and again Raleigh hits it off to the left foul.
I think if he hits his spot there, you could see Tyler Heineman, that glove was at the top of the strike zone. The pitch ended up being middle of the strike zone away. I think if he gets that pitch to the top of the strike zone, he swings and misses.
It's been 96, 95, 96 the last 3 heaters. 1-2. Splitter. Golfed and caught up the middle by Bichette. That was a slicing humpback liner that looked destined to be a bloop single until Bo turned back, leaped, and made the catch.
The Out-of-Town Scoreboard is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, 100% Canadian-owned and operated since 1992. Every Tuesday night, wings are just half price. Visit stlouiswings.com for details. You are welcome.
Let's go over to Sunrise, Florida, Chris.
Do we have to?
I think we do. First, though, Randy Arozarena up to the plate. 1 out, bases empty. Bottom of the 4th, and the pitch is outside. Ball 1. Game 3, Maple Leafs and Panthers in Florida for the first time. Maple Leafs brought a 2-0 series lead into Florida, scored twice in the first 6 minutes, led 3-1 at one point, but the Panthers came all the way back. 1-0 pitch. On the outside corner, strike 1. Panthers actually led midway through the 3rd until Morgan Riley tied it up. That forced overtime and put the puck on net. Good things happened. Brad Marchand's shot hit a body in front and just looped its way into the net over Joseph Wall, who never saw it. 1-1 pitch, foul tipped 1-2. And because of that, it is a series between the Maple Leafs and the defending champs. It's now 2-1 for Toronto, heading into a crucial Game 4 in a couple nights. One-two. Fouled away.
Our game on Sunday is at 4:10 Eastern in Seattle. The Leafs play at 7, so I know exactly what you'll be doing after that baseball game.
It's Mother's Day, Chris.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
So we're going to have to pick a restaurant with a TV.
All right.
1-2. Bounce to the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. (5-1) Blue Jays. 1 out, bases empty. Bottom of the 4th. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. By the way, the Winnipeg Jets are leading on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. They're up 2-0 on the Stars early in the 2nd period in Winnipeg. 2-2 to Arozarena. Skips away from Heineman. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Gausman just threw his 60th pitch so far this start. He's allowed 1 run on 3 hits, no walks. He's struck out 2. Payoff pitch. Fastball popped up, foul and out of play. He's got the good velocity on the fastball. He hasn't necessarily generated as many swings and misses, though, as you might expect with all this 95, 96 on the edges.
This is a good Seattle Mariners lineup. They love to put the bat on the baseball.
3-2 is lined down the left field line. A base hit off the short retaining wall. Racing over to it, Clase. Arozarena around first, headed to second. He'll jog in with a stand-up double.
And just like that, Randy Arozarena hammers that baseball by Addison Barger down that third base line. But like I was saying, it's a very patient Seattle Mariners lineup. They hit mistakes. If you leave something over the middle, that was actually a pretty good pitch that Arozarena was able to turn on. But if you make a mistake, this Seattle Mariners lineup will probably make you pay.
Arozarena on second, one out. Left-handed hitting first baseman Rowdy Tellez is up. The four-season Blue Jay from 2018 to 2021. The pitch. Swing and a bouncer to first base. Backhanded Guerrero flips back to Gausman covering, who steps on first. Arozarena jogs up to third. Now 2 down. To circle back to that Arozarena double, that base hit makes it now a 31-game on-base streak for Randy Arozarena, a streak that dates back to March 31st of this season. That's game 4 of the year. Longest active streak in the American League, second longest active in baseball to Kyle Schwarber. First pitch to Leody Taveras, hit foul, 0-1. I actually didn't see if Schwarber got on base today.
That's actually hard to believe about Arozarena because coming into this ballgame, he's only hitting .223.
He's walking.
Well, no, I understand that he's walking, but you just think that average would be a little higher.
0-1. Splitter in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. By the way, Schwarber did get on today. So, still the second longest active streak in baseball. Second longest streak overall is Aaron Judge's 32-gamer that came to a close recently. So, Arozarena could catch that in this series.
We see the Phillies soon, right? Beginning of June, I think.
I think you're right. 1-1. Swing and a miss at a splitter, 1-2. Arozarena is the 16th different Seattle Mariner to have a streak of 30 games on base or more. It's happened more than 16 times, but 16 different guys have done it. Ichiro did it 5 times. Edgar Martinez did it 5 times. Last 31 gamer, you have to go to 2015 Robinson Cano. Arozarena on third, 2 outs, 5-1 Blue Jays, bottom 4, and the 1-2 to Leody Taveras. Just outside at 97, hardest pitch of the day for Gausman.
Back to that list, though, there's some mediocre names on that list.
There's a couple. I didn't jot down every name on the list.
I thought it was only those 3.
No, it's mostly really good players. 2-2 is fouled off, still 2-2. Yeah, it's a lot of Ichiro, a lot of Edgar. Alex Rodriguez did it once for Seattle. Ken Griffey Jr. is on that list.
Mediocre.
Yeah. Nelson Cruz, I think, was probably on the list. While they haven't won a World Series, the Mariners, they've had a lot of talent throughout their franchise's history. Starting the same year the Blue Jays did in 77. 2-2. Splitter low. Good take by Taveras. Full count.
He's had a couple of good takes in this at-bat. That split finger, that 97-mile-an-hour fastball that was just off the plate outside. The big pitch right here. Big run standing out at third base.
Gausman's 70th pitch of the start. Called strike 3. Fastball at the knees. Taveras sat down to end the bottom of the 4th. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left for the Mariners. 5-1 Blue Jays after 4 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Multicultural. International. Undeniable. Your connection to the sounds from the East. Hear the voices of a global phenomenon on SiriusXM K-Pop.
How you like that?
or explore trending hits by Asian talents from around the world on Horizon. Listen to these and more anytime at home with SiriusXM on your computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on SiriusXM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on SiriusXM or streaming anytime on the SiriusXM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the fifth inning, brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. Luis Castillo starts with the ball in the dirt to George Springer, and we're back underway. Blue Jays at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, leading 5-1. Castillo's offering. Check swing, called strike on the inner third, 1-1. 85 pitches was the count for Castillo before coming back out this inning. Now his 88th offering of the game. Way high and outside, 2-1. Five runs allowed in this start for Luis Castillo. That 3-run third really hurt him. 2-1. Called strike 2-2. He had 2 outs, bases empty. Barger double, Clement RBI single, Lucas 2-run homer. Because of that, he's allowed the second most earned runs of any of his starts so far this year. 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3. That pitch looked a fair bit low, and George Springer upset. You can't blame him. He's had one outside, he's had one inside, he's had one down now where they were all off the plate, and he strikes out looking.
So I do have to say that's a pitcher's pitch. It's not a terrible pitch, it's not a strike, but that is a pitcher's pitch. A really nice slider down and away just off the plate or just below that strike zone. I think the Blue Jays...
First pitch to Addison Barger, called inside, was probably a strike. Want to know.
In that dugout are voicing their frustrations because George Springer was so upset with that call. It really wasn't that bad of a call.
1-0, called a strike, 1-1. Well, and maybe also the other two that Springer has had today. I mean, those frankly were really bad calls.
They're adding up.
Yeah.
They're starting to add up.
So that one wasn't terrible, I agree with you, but it was the third time, and the other two were real bad. 1-1 to Barger is popped up left side of the infield. Ben Williamson on the edge of the left field grass, and the third baseman makes the catch. 2 down.
John Schneider actually came out of the dugout 2 or 3 steps. I'm not sure if he was trying to get George Springer back in the dugout, but there were 3 or 4, even 5 guys in that dugout barking at Nick Lentz.
Looked like David Popkins, the hitting coach, might have been in on the act. No one got tossed, though. 5-1 Blue Jays, 2 outs, and the pitch to Ernie Clements is popped up. Right side foul. Rowdy Tellez onto the side warning track, makes the catch backhanded, and ends the top of the 5th inning. Best inning by far today for Castillo. He sets down the Blue Jays in order, keeps it 5-1 Toronto, middle of the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
They've done it again! They've done it again! The New York Knicks take both in
Boston!
When the sports world is talking, nobody gives you more perspectives than the experts of Sirius XM.
The ego was out of control for the Celtics. It was amateur hour.
Hear instant reaction on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
They become scared in a big moment.
And expert analysis on NBA Radio.
That is not championship basketball. The Celtics are in disarray.
I have no idea what they're doing.
Live sports talk when you need it is on Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
While you're listening to this game on Sirius XM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 159.
I'm John Palmarosi, host of the SiriusXM original podcast, The Road to Cooperstown. Hear our conversations with Hall of Famers about the challenges they overcame, baseball immortality.
It is a hard game, and mentally it's hard.
I used to go to bed crying. They pretty much knew I was going to have lung surgery after the season. I wasn't for sure. Would I ever play baseball again?
The Road to Cooperstown is the official podcast of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. Episodes are available now on the SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
At Radio Network.
Blue Jays baseball is presented by Crown Rust Protection. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Game 4 of the West Coast road trip, and the Blue Jays, with their first in Seattle, they're leading 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Kevin Gausman and Dylan Moore. Called strike. And a welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. In addition to myself and Chris, Joe Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young, our technical director. 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. As usual, Show Ali, Tom, will be here into the late hours of the night Eastern time with Blue Jays talk after the game. You can already text them 590-590. 0-2. Slider outside. Standard message and data rates may apply. Gausman kicks and deals. Fastball low, 2-2.
And that pitch there was not a strike, but you could tell that Kevin Gausman wanted that pitch. It was maybe an inch or two below the strike zone, probably the same location that George Springer struck out on. But Kevin Gausman was really upset, turned around, took 3 or 4 steps towards center field. Didn't like that call at all. And now the Blue Jays are barking at Nick Lentz.
Yeah, there's been a back and forth. It's been a real good start to the game for the Blue Jays. This has been their only snag. They have not agreed with Nick Lentz very often. 2-2. Lined, and a one hopper picked up at third by Barger. Rifle throw to first for the out. That one zipped by the infield in a blur. And there's one down.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. caught that baseball, and as he was throwing to second base, he was staring at Addison Barger, kind of messing with him, having a good joke with him over there. But that is a rocket across the diamond.
Addison Barger does own the hardest infield and outfield throw in Blue Jays history in the StatCast era. And even that bigger first baseman's mitt, it'll sting you a little bit as it did for Guerrero on the throw. He took off the glove for a sec. First pitch to Ben Williamson, down low. Ball 1.
Yeah, I think Vlad was messing around, but he took his glove off, was flexing that hand, big smile on his face.
Barger threw that 95 miles an hour across the diamond. 1-0. Lifted to center field, fairly deep. Varsho back on the warning track, leaps at the wall. Does he have it? He does! Home run robbery, Dalton Varsho. There are 2 down.
That was awesome. Dalton Varsho just acted like he didn't catch it. He caught that baseball, put his glove down. The only reason I knew that he caught that baseball, Nathan Lucas gave him a little low 5. That's the only thing that made me realize he caught that baseball. What a catch. What a reaction from Dalton Varsho.
Even though it was going to leave the yard, it kind of looked like he had it tracked the whole time. First pitch to J.P. Crawford, low ball 1. And like you said, he was nonchalant. He pulled a bit of a Julio Rodriguez, who is known to do that, dupe the fans for a moment like it's gone at home, and then show them the ball, except Varsho did it on the road. 2 out, space is empty, and now the 1-0 to Crawford. Outside 2-0. Man, are they happy to have this guy back in the lineup, Dalton Varsho, on both sides of the ball.
I think that's so funny. No reaction at all.
The 2-0. Lined and caught at short by Bichette. Leaping up the middle, he takes a hit away, and these guys aren't letting anything fall today. Back-to-back fantastic defensive plays from the Blue Jays to make it a 1-2-3 bottom of the 5th for Kevin Gausman. 5-1 Toronto. We go to the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ Home Hardware and Building Center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Guess who just bundled their home and auto with Desjardins Insurance?
Well, look at you, all grown up and saving money.
Yes, I am.
Mom told you to do it, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Switch and you could save up to 35% on home insurance when you bundle home and auto. Desjardins Insurance, here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
Hey, this is Kevin Gausman. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Nathan Lucas leading off for the Blue Jays. Top of the 6th inning, and a new pitcher for Seattle. Righty Casey Legumina is on. His 11th appearance starts with a sidearm fastball for a strike, 0-1. Pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. The 0-1. Called strike again, 0-2. Pretty good year for Legumina so far. A flat 3 ERA in 9 innings. Only concern, the walk's a little high. 0-2. Fouled away. Changeup that had a ton of late movement to the arm side, just poked away by Lucas.
Yeah, that's a pretty good pitch for him. 87 miles an hour. Fastball about 95, 96. That's a good difference.
4-seamer, sweeper, change, and sinker for the righty. 0-2. Just outside with the sinker. Legumina taking on the Portland, Oregon native Nathan Lucas. The 1-2 is hit in the air, left center field. Rodriguez going back. So's Arozarena, and it'll be the left fielder Arozarena to make the catch. 1 out.
Well, neither one of those guys looked like they were going to catch the baseball, but then Arozarena came out of nowhere and just made an easy catch. I'm sure those two have a lot of fun out there.
It's a fun outfield. Those guys, they envisioned Victor Robles being in there too, but he got hurt early in the year, so Leody Taveras comes in. I mean, the athleticism in that outfield is almost unmatched. 1 out, pitch to Tyler Heineman. Swing and a fly ball out to right. Heineman drops the bat in frustration as Taveras comes in, makes the catch. 2 outs. This 6th inning brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. 5-1 Blue Jays. 2 outs, top of the 6th. Base is empty. Let's go quickly back to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. The Jets have expanded their lead. They're now up 3-0 on the Dallas Stars. Adam Lowry with the second period goal, and the Jets on the power play. Again, up 3-0 in the second. Pitch to Jonathan Clase. Called strike. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 0-1. Swing and a miss at a backdoor sweeper. That's a pretty nasty pitch coming from the sidearm angle. 0-2.
If you can locate that pitch, it's almost unhittable.
It was moving right to left over to his glove side. It almost looked like it was rising because of his arm angle. 0-2. High and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Righty into the wind, his pitch. High and outside, ball 2.
A lot of pitches are arm side high. That tells me that that right arm of Legumina is dragging just a little bit.
His next pitch. Called strike 3. Change up on the inner third. Freezes Clase, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for the righty reliever, Casey Legumina. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Blue Jays still up 5-1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have a take and don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, the show has never changed. We're just back home. And it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you dominate. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, John Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Our bats have been really kind of the way we envisioned them. Jimenez has kind of picked up where he left off in spring, as has Bo Bichette, Alejandro Kirk, and George Springer is making progress and kind of quieting some people down on the outside with the start he got off to.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89 and the Sirius XM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Advent Health 400 from Kansas Speedway on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, in the car and on the Sirius XM app. For up-to-date betting lines, fantasy plays, and the latest NASCAR news, catch the pre-race show before every Cup Series race. Plus, 2 hours of post-race coverage on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Home half of the 6th. Blue Jays in Seattle. Thanks so much for tuning in today. 5-1, the Blue Jays lead the Mariners. Kevin Gausman deals home to Jorge Polanco and misses low. Ball 1. Gausman just threw his 81st pitch. This could be his last inning. Maybe if he pitches very efficiently, buys himself another, with the Blue Jays leading by 4. 1-0. Bounce to second. Picked up on 2 hops by Ernie Clement. He zips it over to first, and there's 1 down.
That's a big out for Kevin Gausman. Jorge Polanco, before that at bat, is now hitting .351. What a season for him.
So good.
It's not even a small sample size anymore. I don't think we can count that as a small sample size, although I think you said 60 games is when we can.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be like the downer. I think it's a slightly small sample size, but it's more than a good 2 weeks.
Right.
It's a good 6 weeks at this point. Pitch to Julio Rodriguez. Hit back foul, 0-1. And you had mentioned it earlier, because he's been a good player most of his career, you probably buy into it a little bit more than someone who had just sprung up out of nowhere.
Right. But he certainly hasn't been this good.
No. 0-1 to Rodriguez. Fouled off 0-2. I mean, Polanco was in a spot. He was with Seattle first year last year with them. He struggled. They had a player option, and they almost had enough leverage to decline that option and sign him back for less money. And that was a move used against Jerry Dipoto in his front office, talking about how the offseason hadn't been a splashy one, yet he's been their best hitter. 0-2. Bounce to the plate, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's kind of like the Blue Jays and Bo Bichette, where Bo Bichette was, I think, the biggest addition to this roster. Just Bo Bichette being good is the biggest addition to this roster. A lot like Jorge Polanco. Just a good Jorge Polanco is the biggest addition.
Especially this good. 1-2 to Rodriguez is chop foul, third base side. And it is interesting. So I mentioned earlier, 5th in runs per game, the Mariners, over 5. Last year, they were 21st in runs per game. They scored basically 1 run fewer per game. And it's not that different of a roster than it was last year. Rodriguez asks for time. I mean, Rowdy Tellez was brought in. Miles Mastroboni. You have a full year of Randy Arozarena. You only had the second half last year, but a lot of it's been J.P. Crawford's a lot better. Jorge Polanco's a lot better. Even Cal Raleigh has taken it to a different level, and he was great last year.
Dylan Moore is a lot better.
For sure. 1-2. Low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. They haven't had Victor Robles, who broke out for them last year, for a lot of this season. Now, I know these are words that people don't always love hearing around a Blue Jays broadcast, but internal improvements for the Mariners. That's what's helped them. 2-2, hit on the ground sharply through the whole right side, base hit.
That was a pretty good swing from Julio Rodriguez. Ernie Clement was shading up the middle just a little bit towards second base, and Julio Rodriguez pounded that thing through that big hole on the right side. A nice swing.
As Rodriguez sheds his batting equipment and gets his base running equipment on, we'll take a look quickly at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard. We've done a lot of hockey today. We haven't looked at the baseball world yet, and everyone back in action after a lot of teams were off on Thursday. So there's a couple ALS games in progress and a couple finals as well. First, the pitch to Cal Raleigh. Outside. 5-1 Blue Jays. 1 out, bottom 6. Rodriguez on first. One of the AL East finals. A nail-biting finish in Kansas City as the Royals walk off the Red Sox 2-1 the final score in 12 innings. There wasn't a run scored in this game until the 11th. 1-0. Called strike. Freddie Fermin came up with the RBI single off Sean Newcomb in the 12th to win it for Kansas City. So the Red Sox lost, but the Rays won. They won 4-3 over the Milwaukee Brewers. 1-1 to Raleigh. Up and in. Snap throw back to first base, and Rodriguez just got back in with a head-first dive. Vladdy's saying don't challenge it. He thinks the call from Vic Carapaz at first was the right one.
It looked like Vlad actually missed the tag at first base. Julio Rodriguez slid to the back of the base. Pretty nice attempt from Tyler Heineman back there. Really quick with those feet. A perfect throw. Hey, if Vlad says they didn't get him, they certainly didn't get him.
He got a piece of him with the tag, though.
Yeah, he didn't miss him. He didn't miss him.
But yeah, I think you're right. The 2-1. Splitter low, 3-1. 5-1 Blue Jays. 1 out, Rodriguez on first. Bottom of the 6th. Brendan Little is getting loose. Just on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard. The Rays broke open a tie game in the bottom of the 8th on a bases-loaded walk to win today. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Threw a splitter for a strike and got the whiff off Raleigh. Full count.
How great of a pitch is that? You know I love the 3-1 changeup. I love the 3-run split. If you can throw that thing for a strike in that count, it's the best pitch in baseball.
Gausman shakes off a side. Now he nods. In the set. Runner on first. Here's the 3-2. Splitter poked on the ground near third. Barger circles around it. He's got no throw. He was playing off the line. It was a swinging bunt that might have been an infield hit regardless of the defensive alignment. And it's an infield single for the powerful Cal Raleigh. Rodriguez up to second.
That completely fooled Cal Raleigh. He was just protecting there. A super late swing, and he just found that part of the infield where nobody was. Addison Barger was playing almost where the shortstop would play. I mean, that's about as lucky as it gets.
And for Kevin Gausman, about as unlucky as it gets. But he'll try to work through some traffic with Brendan Little warming up in the Toronto bullpen. Randy Arozarena is up to the plate. He's got the lone extra base hit today for the Mariners, a double in the fourth. He's 1 for 2. First and second, one out. Gausman looks back at second, and now the pitch. Fastball down and away, ball 1. Gausman threw 94 pitches in his last start against Cleveland. He just threw his 95th pitch today. (1-0). Fastball on the outside edge at 95, 1-1.
And Rowdy Tellez is on deck for the Seattle Mariners, a left-handed hitter. So you have to wonder if this is Kevin Gausman's last hitter.
Could be, and maybe that 95 is him emptying the tank. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. 96. Middle, maybe a little down in the zone, but that's a hittable pitch, and Gausman just blew it by him.
Let's see if he can get up to 97, 98 at the top of the strike zone. That would be a good pitch here for Kevin Gausman.
Rodriguez on second, Raleigh on first. One out, and the 1-2 to Arozarena. Through the splitter, bounced it. It was picked on the backhand side by Heineman, 2-2.
The problem with that pitch is it looked like a ball out of the hand. It was never a strike, so it was an easy take for Randy Arozarena.
Arozarena, that interesting mix of very patient but also strikeout prone. 2-2. Swing and a ground ball up the middle, base hit into center. Rodriguez around third. He'll come to the plate. Throw from Varsho goes into third base. It's an RBI single. And the Mariners have made it 5-2.
I think they were trying to go away with that pitch. Kevin Gausman did get the velo. That fastball was 97, but he left it a little bit out over the middle of the plate. Elevated just a little bit, but Randy Arozarena squared that thing up for the RBI and the base hit.
And that is going to be it for Gausman's day. Gives up 3 straight hits, including the RBI single in the bottom of the 6th. So with the tying run coming up, first and second, one out, Rowdy Tellez about to hit. John Schneider makes a pitching change. That's brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Lefty Brendan Little coming out of the Toronto pen. Let's go back to today's host for the righty, Joe Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben and Chris. Welcome back inside Baseball Control. Let's check out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, as we often have and will continue to do on these scoreboard checks. We will start with hockey in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The second round well underway. So last night on the scoreboard, we had a pair of games. The Capitals with a 3-1 win over the Hurricanes to tie the series at 1 game apiece. Game 3 will be Saturday evening. And in Vegas, Connor McDavid putting Jack Eichel on the spin cycle in overtime. He finds Leon Draisaitl for the winner. The Oilers grab a 5-4 OT win and a 2-0 series lead as things head back to Edmonton on Saturday night. Tonight, 2 games as usual. First one was Leafs at Panthers. The series saw the Leafs entering play with a 2-0 series lead, but after a 3-1 lead in the second period of Game 3, the Leafs allowed 4 straight Florida goals to go down 4-3. Morgan Riley will get one back to make it 4-4. This game would go to overtime. With just about under 6 minutes to go in OT, Brad Marchand with a knuckler that bounced off Morgan Riley. The Cats win 5-4 in overtime. The series now 2-1 in favor of Toronto. Game 4 will be on Sunday at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. It will be on Sportsnet and on our flagship station, Sportsnet 590 The Fan, as well, following the Jays game. Our second game this evening is Stars at Jets. Dallas getting a natural hat trick from Mikko Rantanen in Game 1 to take a 1-0 series lead. Right now in Game 2, the Jets are up 3-0. This game just went into the second period intermission. And when they come out of that for the third period, the Jets will be on the power play. You can watch it on Sportsnet. Blue Jays baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue with the call.
Thank you very much, Joe. Brendan Little on the hill for his 20th appearance of the season. 2.20 ERA for the lefty, who's striking out nearly 14 per 9 this year. Had the day off yesterday, did pitch 2 days ago, and didn't allow any hits or runs, but was a little bit wild in a start where he still managed to strike out 2 for his only 2 outs. 5-2 Blue Jays. Pinch hitter Donovan Solano in. Left on right pitch is poured over for strike 1.
And that's the big thing for Brendan Little. If he can throw strike 1 with that really good sinker, he's probably going to be okay. But we saw him throw 2 balls in the grass in his last outing.
0-1, check swing on a curve in the dirt, appeal down to first base, and he did go. It's 0-2. First and second for the Mariners, who have 3 straight singles coming into this plate appearance. They've lifted Rowdy to Les and inserted Donovan Solano to get the platoon advantage. Solano 8 for 54 this year, a 148 average, 1 double, 1 RBI. 0-2. In the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Nice block from Tyler Heineman on that curveball from Brendan Little. That ball actually bounced in front of home plate.
Heineman got off of the crouch and actually stood up a little bit because it bounced short, expecting the high hop. Now he sets up away, and the 1-2. Curve, cut on it, missed, strike 3. That's the punch-out stuff for Brendan Little. 2 outs in the inning.
And that's why you bring him in ball games for that punch-out there. That was a better curveball than the one before. Bounced just behind home plate. I'm sure that's what he was trying to do with the previous pitch. Didn't quite get it there, but that's a good pitch. You could see him nodding his head after that pitch.
So 2 outs, still first and second for the Mariners. They have a run in the inning to make it 5-2 for the Blue Jays. And the switch hitter, Leody Taveras, will turn around to hit right for the first time in the game. Little kicks and deals. Sinker over for strike 1. It's not a drastic change, but in his career, Leody Taveras has been a better hitter from the other side than from where he's batting now as a right-handed hitter. A 1. Bounced in front of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike as Little turned and said something to himself and then shook his head in a little frustration.
Well, you can tell that he's really trying not to throw that curveball in front of home plate. Spiking it, really choking it off.
It's one of those cases where you're trying so hard not to do something that you end up doing it. 1-1. Fastball line down in left center field, a base hit rolling toward the track. Coming around third, Cal Raleigh scores. Up to third base goes Arozarena. It's a 1-run double for Taveras, and it's 2 in scoring position now for the Mariners with 2 outs.
Well, that sinker got caught too much of the plate. It was almost right down the middle, maybe inner third, and Leody Taveras does a good job staying right on that pitch and hammering that thing into the gap.
If anything, the Blue Jays got fortunate to keep it 5-3 rather than 5-4. Randy Arozarena did not go on contact there, standing on first base with 2 outs. I really don't know why. You can't get doubled off with 2 outs, but he went back to first, and because of that, he's only on third. Pitch to Dylan Moore. Just high with the cutter, ball 1. That's another run in on the line of Kevin Gausman, who's now allowed 3 in the game. Gausman owns the base runner on third, Arozarena. Taveras on second base is Little's runner. 5-3 Blue Jays, 1-0. Right at the knees for a strike. Blue Jays led 5-0 in this game. Mariners are scratching and clawing their way back into it. A single could tie it. 1-1. Swing, no, a check swing on a curve down low. Appeal to first, no swing, says Vic Carapazza. 2-1.
That was a great take from Dylan Moore on a really good curveball. I actually thought that he went. Haven't seen a replay of it yet, but that was a really good pitch from Brendan Little.
Two-1. Backdoor curve called strike. 2-2. You don't see that a lot from him.
No, I was going to say, you really don't. It's either spiked or back foot, and that one right there should probably be a part of his repertoire.
His pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Curve in the dirt, picked by Heineman, and he tags Moore to end the inning. But the Mariners strike for a pair of runs on 4 hits, including the RBI double by Leody Taveras. And it's a close game, 5-3 for the Blue Jays as we go to the 7th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Are you ready for some football? On Wednesday, May 21st, gear up for football season with the George Springer replica football jersey giveaway presented by TD. Rush to the ballpark because this giveaway is available to the first 15,000 fans at Rogers Center. It's Wednesday night. Lights up. Let's go. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Drywall, an essential part of many, many projects. It's important to get it right and start with quality materials. Essentials you'll always find competitively priced at Timber Mart, like CGC, a recognized giant in the drywall industry for over 100 years and leading Canadian manufacturer of gypsum drywall. Well established and reputable, building pros and contractors know CGC, and you get exactly what the best builders trust. That's as sexy as drywall gets. Timber Mart, Canada's building center.
Tomorrow on Sportsnet. First,
crowd loves the physical play. Washington has even this series at 1-1 apiece.
Now the series shifts to Carolina. Now the Hockey Central sets up a Game 3 showdown. After some OT heroics,
both teams realizing what's at stake.
The Oilers are in control.
They know they've got a job to do.
The Stanley Cup playoffs. Watch on Sportsnet. Stream on Sportsnet Plus.
Saturday, May 17th at Rogers Center is Barbie Game Day. Like Barbie, you can be anything. Just be sure to be at Rogers Center on Saturday, May 17th for Barbie Game Day. Be one of the first 15,000 fans to get your Blue Jays Barbie Hawaiian shirt giveaway. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Way back, and Jimenez has done it again.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Casey Legumina on the hill for the Mariners. His pitch to Bo Bichette to start the 7th, outside, ball 1. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Second inning of work for the reliever Legumina. 1-0. At the knees, called a strike. One, two, three, bottom or top of the 6th for Legumina. Back out for the top of the 7th. Here's 1-1. Is hit off the handle, a roller to shortstop, picked up by Crawford, who tosses over to first to new first baseman Donovan Solano. 1 out. 7th inning is brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. In a moment, we'll take a check over at the standings after a couple finals already today in the American League East. First, the pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Called strike. Standings are brought to you by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds. Find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. 0-1. Called a strike. Might have been a hair low, but that's a 50-50 pitch. It's nothing in 2. Oh-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Guerrero goes down swinging, and let's go over to the standings. So finals already for Boston losing and Tampa Bay winning. Yankees in progress. They're leading the division 21-16. The Red Sox 20-20 after the loss. Blue Jays are in third, 17-20. The Rays are 17-21 after the win. And the Orioles in progress right now. They're 13-23. First pitch to Dalton Varsho, called a strike, 0-1. And just for fun, on the American League West side, it's the Mariners leading the division 22-14, 3 games up on the Athletics. 0-1. Inside. Legumina into the wind, his pitch. Varsho swings and misses at a good sweeper. 1-2. For lower leverage in the Mariners bullpen, this guy's pretty nasty.
I was just thinking that. This guy's got really good stuff. And it comes from a kind of a funky arm angle. I don't want to say it's sidearm, but it's just it's a different look out of that bullpen.
1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 95 elevated. 6 up, 6 down for Legumina to keep the Mariners in it. 7th inning stretch in Seattle. 5-3, the Blue Jays lead. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Make no payments for 12 months with the Timber Mart Deferred Payment Program. Apply for a Timber Mart project card today and pay later, 12 months later. Financing provided by Fairstone Financial Inc. Conditions apply. Ask in-store for details or apply at timbermart.ca. Locally owned, proudly Canadian. Timber Mart is Canada's building center.
This Tuesday on City TV.
Only one act is going to walk out of here with $1 million.
Shania Twain returns for the Canada's Got Talent live finale.
I was expecting world-class talents, and that's what I got.
The final 8 acts battle it out for your vote. The show-stopping season finale.
I can't wait to see what happens.
Canada's Got Talent, the live finale, Tuesday 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Springer started right, coming in, leaps and makes the catch full stretch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom 7, Blue Jays leading the Mariners 5-3 at T-Mobile Park. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Brendan Little on the hill is pitched to Ben Williamson. Swing and a miss, strike one. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Brendan Little out for his second inning of work. Struck out a pair, but he did allow a double that knocked in one of Kevin Gausman's runs in the 6th. Left on right, the 0-1. Check swing, and he did go around on the curve low again. So twice he's got him to reach for a curve out of the zone. Nothing in 2.
That curveball is just so effective when he can make it look like a strike. A lot of the times he doesn't.
2-strike offering. Curve, backdoor, strike 3 looking. 1, 2, 3. Got him on 3 curveballs for the first out of the inning.
Well, there's that backdoor curveball that you mentioned last inning. Looked really good. And I suggested that he throw it again, maybe add it to his repertoire. That one right there was perfect, right on the black outside.
I don't know if you know, but on the pitch comm, there's a setting to put the radio broadcast on while you're on the mound. First pitch to J.P. Crawford, hit foul, 0-1. Crawford 1 for 3 today. Came up with a single in the run-scoring 3rd inning. 0-1. Hit on the ground left side. Sliding stop by Barger. Pops up, throws to first for the out. What a day Addison Barger has had. He's had a handful of really nice plays at third base. He obviously has the 2 doubles as well. He's looked really good.
I mean, that play was pretty difficult. He was in on the grass, and it was a pretty hard hit right at him, but a tough play. Gets up really calm, cool, and collected, and throws a strike across the diamond.
And here we'll see the rare right-handed at-bat for Jorge Polanco. Switch hitter turns around as Little misses inside, ball 1. He wasn't doing this much early in the year because of an oblique issue, but Polanco feeling comfortable enough now to become a switch hitter again. 1-0. Called strike.
I've never seen this before, but I'm pretty sure Jorge Polanco has navy blue and black eye black on.
He does.
You already noticed that?
I did, but I'm colorblind.
I've never seen that before in my entire life.
1-1 in the dirt, 2-1.
Yeah, he does. Interesting.
Matches the jersey.
Yeah, he's having fun.
Jorge Polanco 1 for 3. 2 ground outs and an RBI single to right field in the third. 2-1 pitch is high. Threw the cutter there and missed. 3-1.
It's a big pitch right here. You don't want to walk him and then bring up Julio Rodriguez as the tying run.
The pitch. Called strike. Just got a piece of the outside corner with the cutter. Full count. By the way, for Polanco, this is only his 11th plate appearance as a right-handed batter so far this season. Obviously, you'd see more at-bats for him as a lefty, but he hadn't been doing it before. 3-2. Curveball popped up. Middle of the infield, a little bit toward the first base side. Guerrero comes in and makes the catch on the infield grass to end the inning. Very tidy, 1-2-3 for Brendan Little. And we will go to the 8th. Blue Jays up 5-3 on the Mariners. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The drama builds.
Baseball's in full swing.
This ball's gone!
Hear every MLB game on Sirius XM.
And they'll be talking about this one for a long, long time.
Listen to your favorite team all season long with your hometown announcers on the Sirius XM app.
A breathtaking home run by Aaron Judge.
For a complete MLB schedule, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
What a night.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
In a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on Sirius XM Channel 89 and every morning on the Sirius XM app.
PGA Championship moments on Sirius XM.
At the 2024 PGA Championship at Valhalla, Xander Schauffele's opening round 62 tied a major championship record, and he never looked back.
Xander Schauffele, the winner of the 106th PGA Championship.
Colin Morikawa and Bryson DeChambeau made furious charges, but Xander secured his first major win 2 months before claiming his second. PGA Championship Week begins May 12th on Channel 92 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you dominate. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. 8th inning, Toronto leading in the series opener in Seattle. The score is 5-3 in favor of the Blue Jays. New pitcher for the Mariners. Pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Dan Wilson goes to the long-haired righty Colin Snyder, who's got a 3.5 ERA games. And he'll pitch to George Springer. Called strike. Just threw a sweeper, or rather a cutter in for a strike. He has a sweeper as well, a four-seamer and a sinker. Righty's 0-1. High, 1 ball, 1 strike.
The 29-year-old Colin Snyder out of Nashville, Tennessee, was a 12th rounder by the Kansas City Royals in 2017. Went to Vandy.
Hometown guy.
I'm jealous.
1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Debuted in 2022 with the Royals. Made 62 appearances between 2022 and 2023. But DFA'd a couple times. Ended up in Seattle last year. His pitch is down and away. And that'll make it 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two. Inside ball 3. Weird quirk so far with Snyder's year. He's got a 3.5 ERA. Not bad. He's given up a run in 7 of his 14 appearances so far, but a handful of unearned runs. 3-2 pitch is hit on a line, caught at short off a bounce by Crawford, and he throws it over to first for the
smooth over there. Fun to watch at shortstop. Makes a great play there. Not a great throw to first base with a big smile on his face, but gets the out nonetheless.
What a pick off to his left. That ball skipped just in front of him.
If he doesn't come up with that baseball, that's probably a base hit.
Probably
right?
Extra bases, because I think that's going to the gap and dying in the grass.
Well, no, I'm saying the official scorer is giving him a base hit.
Yes. Pitch to Addison Barger. Roped right field line. Fair ball bouncing into the corner. Barger taking off around first again, and he's making a home at second. It's his third double of the night. How about 117 miles an hour off the bat for Barger, who used all the muscle he has on him to smoke that ball for a double.
Well, he just waited back on that cutter from Snyder. It started off the plate, came back over the middle of the plate, and boy, oh boy, is he seeing the baseball well right now.
Pitch to Ernie Clement, cut on and miss, strike one.
How about that swing? His third really nice swing of the ball game.
He came into tonight with 3 doubles. At worst, he'll leave it with 6 on the year.
He's also playing a good third base tonight.
Really? 0-1. Swing and a miss. Doubled up on the cutter outside. 0-2. 5-3 Blue Jays. Barger on second, 1 out. Clement singled in Barger in the third. 2-strike pitch. Poked away, foul. Ernie still swinging at that cutter away, but somehow reached that one. That was 2 balls maybe off the plate, down and away.
You could see him frustrated with himself for offering at that pitch, but at least you foul it off and you stay alive.
0-2 again. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Went right back to that pitch and got the swing from Clement, 2 down.
And I think that's the right way to do it. If you see a hitter awkwardly swing at a pitch, why not throw it again? Obviously, he's not seeing it well. There's something about the deception, about the break on the pitch, and Snyder does just that. Almost the exact same pitch.
2 outs, top of the 8th. Nathan Lucas is up. He hit a 2-run homer in the third. The pitch. Popped up behind the plate, foul into the seats. 0-1. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by Authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Barger on second, 2 down. Here's the 0-1. Popped up foul into the seats again. 0-2. Jimmy Garcia is getting loose for the Blue Jays. Last time we saw the bullpen. Toronto was up 5-0, now up 5-3. Oh-2 pitch. Down and in, almost hit Lucas on the front foot.
Pretty good stop from Cal Raleigh back there. I think people forget, well, I forget, that he's a pretty good athlete.
And a really good defender for all the home runs he hits. That's a big reason why they gave him a 9-figure extension. Raleigh going to his right knee to call pitches via the pitch comm out to the righty Colin Snyder. 1-2 offering. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, I think you think he's a big guy. He's a catcher. He hits a lot of home runs. Probably not that quick, but he is.
2-2. Hit hard foul. Right side on the ground. That pitch well off the plate. Lucas reached down and rolled it over. Barger taking his lead off second. Infield playing back into the pull side for the left-handed hitter Lucas. 2-2 again. Check swing on a pitch down and in. Appeal down to third base, and he did go around. Strike 3. Throw down because that pitch was in the dirt. Raleigh to Solano, and that will end the inning. 2 strikeouts in a row to end the frame for Snyder. No runs on a hit, 1 left. And it is 5-3 Blue Jays, middle of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
A team's defense is as precious as gold.
Oh, what a catch! A great catch by Dalton Varsho.
Brilliant displays of athleticism, pure talent, instinct, and ability.
And it's caught!
And in
Hey, you! Yeah, you! Joe Bowen here, voice of the Leafs. Holy Mackinac, we've passed 100,000 insiders on Toronto Sports Insider. The Playoff Pulse campaign is unstoppable. Your support means 100% of Leafs playoff stream revenue keeps helping sick kids with life-saving care. Let's aim even higher. Subscribe now and join this amazing community making a difference. Together, we're showing sick kids the power of sports fans worldwide. Let's keep growing this global community.
Past talents, and that's what I got.
The final 8 acts battle it out for your vote. The show-stopping season finale.
I can't wait to see what happens.
Canada's Got Talent, the live finale, Tuesday 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
Hey, this is Bo Bichette. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Scary, spooky, hilarious, crazy, scary, spooky.
Bottom of the 8th inning about to get underway in what's turned into a very entertaining series opener between the Blue Jays and the Mariners. Toronto up 5-3, holding on to the lead right now despite 3 unanswered from Seattle. Blue Jays will bring in the former Mariner. Jimmy Garcia is on in a pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. First pitch to Julio Rodriguez. Gets a swing and a miss. Strike 1. Garcia coming off a rough patch, has his ERA right now at 4.20. His 0-1. Swing and a miss at 98, 0-2.
That's a good sign. We haven't seen that 98 in a couple of outings now. Jimmy Garcia giving up 7 earned runs in his last 2 outings, and that totals 1 inning.
Before that, he hadn't given up any earned runs. He went 14 straight without an earned run before the grand slam against Cleveland and then the 3 allowed against the Angels. His 0-2. Fastball just below the knees. That's been a strike about half the time today and a ball about half the time today. And Garcia chuckling. And now Nick Lentz is going on with the dugout. He turned back to Tyler Heineman. And you can hear it. Nick Lentz is telling them to stop. But I think they're going to go to the iPad after the game. The umps are, just like the Blue Jays. And I think the dugout's been right more than behind home plate.
That was a great pitch, though. It was a ball, but it was a great pitch.
But it's been a strike half the night. That's the problem. If it was a ball all night or a strike all night, we wouldn't have to talk about it. 1-2. Fastball lined out to center field, down for a base hit.
And I think that will sting more now because of the base hit. If that was a pop-up or a strikeout or a ground ball after that missed call, I don't think the Blue Jays will care, but that's a tough one to swallow there. Base hit.
Was a four-seamer left over the middle, a little bit down in the zone, but not enough to make it trouble for Rodriguez. And now the tying run up to the plate. It's Cal Raleigh, the switch hitting catcher, who would have caught Jimmy Garcia last year in the second half. Pitch. Down and in. Good backhanded pick by Heineman, sprawling off to his right. Ball 1. And Tyler Heineman's going to walk out to the mound and talk to Garcia.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to go over the game plan. You're behind in the count now. You're facing a guy that has big power, 12 home runs for Cal Raleigh this season. He's the tying run, so you have to make good pitches. You have to be careful, but you also can't walk him. You don't want to put the tying run on base with nobody out in this inning. The whole infield is actually in on this conversation. Bo Bichette sticking his head in there. That's probably a good idea so that they know what's happening, but they're going over the scouting report. They're going over what Jimmy Garcia feels comfortable throwing in this situation, trying to do their best to make a big pitch here in a 1-0 count.
Heineman back in the crouch behind home plate. Runner on first, nobody out. 5-3 Blue Jays, bottom of the 8th. Right on left, the 1-0. Outside with a sinker, 2 balls, no strikes.
Got to throw a strike here. You got to throw a good pitch. It doesn't have to be a fastball, but it needs to be in that strike zone.
The 2-0. Way outside, ball 3. Rio outside, ball 4. He does not have the location of the fastball now after seemingly having it for most of the Julio Rodriguez battle.
Yeah, it seemed like he was pretty tentative with Cal Raleigh standing in that batter's box. As soon as he fell behind 1-0, he really didn't want to throw something over the middle of the plate. Like I said, you don't want to give Cal Raleigh something he can drive, but you also shouldn't be walking him in that situation. And now you have runners at first and second and nobody out in this inning.
First appearance for Garcia since Tuesday. Blue Jays trying to give him some rest to get him fresh. Pitch now to Randy Arozarena. Breaking ball in the dirt gets through the legs of Heineman. Both runners advance into scoring position. I think that'll be a pass ball. It's borderline, but I don't think it bounced before it got to the catcher.
Yeah, Tyler Heineman should have come up with that baseball. I don't know if he's going to catch it on the fly or block that baseball, but it was kind of in between. He didn't know whether to catch or to stick that glove out or to try to block it. I mean, that's ultimately his fault back there, but now you have the tying run in scoring position with nobody out.
Second and third, no outs. 1-0 to Arozarena. Down and away, ball 2. Hasn't thrown a strike in 6 pitches. Down and away, ball 3.
And keep in mind, you do have that open base at first base. Obviously, you don't want to put the go-ahead run on base with nobody out in this inning, but you also don't want to let Randy Arozarena square one up here.
Donovan Solano is the next hitter due up for Seattle. 3-0. Fastball called strike. Might have looked outside to Arozarena because he took 2 steps back as the pitch was being delivered, but it was definitely in there. It's 3-1.
I also think he's having a little bit of fun up there. That was a good pitch.
He does like that. Still a hitter's count for Arozarena. Second and third, no outs. 3-1 offering. Down and away, ball 4. Back-to-back walks, bases loaded, nobody out as Mason Fluharty starts to get up now for the Blue Jays.
Jimmy Garcia was really frustrated with himself after that pitch. You could tell he really wanted to throw a strike with that sweeper. Didn't obviously throw a strike. It started out of the strike zone. Randy Arozarena really took that quite easily. But this is a big batter coming up in this inning.
It's going to be a pinch hitter. Miles Mastroboni is going to come up. Pete Walker out to the mound to talk to his pitcher and Jimmy Garcia. We'll just quickly go over the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Check on the division scores. It's 3-1 Orioles over the Angels. Bottom 8. Angels threatening with 2 on in Anaheim. And then the Yankees up 5-0 in Sacramento on the Athletics. Out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. In Seattle, it's 5-3 for the Blue Jays. Pinch runner on first base right now is going to be Leo Rivas. He's into the game Representing the go-ahead run, he takes over for Arozarena. And coming up to the plate is Miles Mastrobuoni. He will step in for Donovan Solano, meaning Dan Wilson has used 3 of his 4 bench guys. Only the backup catcher, Mitch Garver, is left on his bench. Mastrobuoni hitting .234 on the year. No homers, 6 RBIs, a .596 on-base plus slugging. Corners a little bit in, middle back. And Garcia's offering. Breaking ball, strike 1.
Big pitch right there. You got to throw strike 1 with the bases loaded. I think Jimmy Garcia needs a strikeout in this situation. Nobody out.
Oh, 1. In the dirt, blocked by Heineman off of his right knee to make sure a run didn't score. 1-1.
Heineman kind of looked awkward on that block. He might be having a tough time with that sweeper from Jimmy Garcia.
They did rule the earlier ball that got away a wild pitch, by the way. 1-1. Outside. Sinker is running off the plate. He cannot get it back across his body into the zone so far. It's 2-1.
That arm is dragging just a little bit on that fastball. It's either that or he's trying to be too perfect. Just throw that thing right down the middle and let it work.
The 2-1. High and outside, ball 3. Nowhere to put Mastrobuoni, the .234 hitter. Bases are loaded for the Mariners. Nobody out, bottom 8. Blue Jays up 5-3. Fans to their feet at T-Mobile Park. And Jimmy Garcia cupping his left ear to hear the pitch-comm signals from Tyler Heineman. .3-1 pitch. Lined and blocked by Guerrero at first. Throw to the plate to get 1 out, and the Blue Jays cut down the lead runner. Everyone else is safe. Outstanding from Vlad at first. He didn't catch the liner, but he did the main job at first. Get in front of it, and then had the presence of mind to pick the ball up off the dirt and toss it to home to get the lead runner.
Well, that's about as good as a strikeout. It was actually a line drive, and the runner at first base was blocking the view of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Luckily for the Blue Jays, he was able to keep it in front of him and make a good throw to Tyler Heineman to cut that runoff at home plate.
First pitch to Leody Taveras, swing and a miss, strike 1, and that's got to be a boost to Jimmy Garcia, who finally gets his first out of the frame on his 18th pitch that he dealt in this inning. Still bases loaded, 1 out. Leody Taveras up in a 5-3 game in favor of Toronto. The 0-1. Downstairs. Taveras provided a 2-run double, or pardon me, a 1-run double in the 6th inning that has made this game much more tense. The pitch. Called strike. Breaking ball at the knees to make it 1-2.
What a pitch. I'm almost positive that he's found that sweeper again. I'd throw another one here down below the strike zone if I was Jimmy Garcia.
Taveras asks for time. Garcia didn't see it for a moment, but now he steps off. Taveras unvelcroed and revelcroed his batting gloves and now steps back into the lefty box. His double did come from the right side. He's 0 for 2 as a lefty today. 1-2. Fastball cut on and missed. Strike 3. 99 at the top of the zone. There are 2 down.
And how about that? That's the Jimmy Garcia that we saw earlier this season. Just finds the command, finds the release point. And how about that fastball? 99 miles an hour above the strike zone. What a pitch.
Bases loaded. 2 outs. Dylan Moore up to the plate. 5-3 Blue Jays. The pitch. Fouled back into the backstop. It might have tipped off Heineman and the home plate umpire, Nick Lentz. It's 0-1. .284 hitter Moore is 0 for 3 today. 2 strikeouts and a ground out to third. The 0-1. Outside at 98.
He has found another gear. How about that fastball?
Consistent with the four-seamer, 97 to 99 in this inning. Garcia tucks the ball into his glove, belt high. The 1-1. Call to strike, gets a little bit of a break. That pitch looked off the plate inside. It's 1-2.
It's a great pitch. If Tyler Heineman is set up on the inside part of the plate, that looks a lot better. Although he was set up on the outside, it was one of those ugly strikes.
It's been a big zone all night. It helps Garcia right now. 2 outs, bases loaded, and it's 1-2. Popped up foul out of play, 99 outer edge, and Moore just got to it, stumbling over the plate.
Over the last 3 hitters, his stuff looks completely different.
Got the fielder's choice on a line drive off Mastroboni, then the strikeout of Taveras. Another 1-2. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Was trying to go down and away with the sweeper, but didn't get on top of it, and it missed hanging up. The set, and the 2-2. He got him! Big scream from Tyler Heineman, the catcher. Swinging strikeout for Jimmy Garcia, who loads the bases and then cleans it up, not allowing a run. We go to the 9th, 5-3 Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on Sirius XM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on Sirius XM or streaming anytime on the Sirius XM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Baseball is back. It's former general manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former big league GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Net Radio Network.
Top of the 9th inning, Blue Jays leading the Mariners 5-3 after a wild bottom of the 8th, where Jimmy Garcia loaded the bases and then didn't allow a run. So the Blue Jays maintain their lead. It's a new pitcher for the Mariners and a couple defensive switches, but the pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Called up today, righty Troy Taylor makes his 5th appearance of the year. He's got a 12 ERA so far. Taylor starts with the number 8 hitter, Tyler Heineman. Switch hitting catcher bats from the left side. The pitch. Breaking ball in there, strike 1.
Speaking of Tyler Heineman, how about that scream he let out after the end of that last inning?
He was fired up that he and Jimmy Garcia worked out of the trouble after bases loaded, nobody out. 0-1. Broken bat, foul ball. Or, pardon me, that lands fair. Looked like it was slicing out of play. Heineman didn't get out of the box. Now he dives head first into first base and beats the throw from right. Could this game get any weirder? Heineman's got the better view than we do, so he hits the ball. He doesn't move from the box. You figure, okay, that's foul ball. But It landed fair. He was kind of watching his bat land in foul territory and then raced and dove head first into the bag.
That was one of the weirdest plays I have ever seen. The TV camera just scanned the Blue Jays dugout, and almost everybody in that dugout is trying to cover their mouth because they're laughing at Tyler Heineman right now. What a strange play.
Well, that's one way to get a single. Leadoff runner aboard, pitch to Jonathan Clase is bunted, and it's popped up foul all the way over the netting into the seats.
I'm pretty sure that'll be a highlight, at least for the majority of tonight, if not tomorrow and the weeks to come.
Things happen when these two teams meet every time. Clase batting for the fourth time, 0 for 3, ground out, fly out, strikeout. And the pitch, squares to bunt and bunts it toward third base. Picked up there by Williamson. Throw to first in time. So that'll go down as a sacrifice for Clase. Up to second goes Heineman.
Williamson was way in, almost starting on the grass and then broke in. Pretty tough play. A really nice bunt.
And it's Dylan Moore now over at first base who had to make the catch. Williamson at third. Fielded the bunt, but Dylan Moore has moved from second to first, and that throw tailed a little bit into the line. It was a tough play for Moore. So one out, runner in scoring position. Bo Bichette's up, 5-3 Blue Jays. The pitch. Down and away from Taylor. Ball one. So the new defenders, by the way, Mastroboni came in the spot that was Donovan Solano's. Mastroboni into left field because Rosarena's out. Moore to second. Leo Rivas, a pinch runner, is now at second base. Moore has moved from second to first. And the nenext pitch to Bichette outside, 2-0. So again, it's Mastroboni in left, Rivas at second, Moore at first. Solano's out, so is Mastroboni. A look at second from Taylor, the 2-0. Inside, ball 3. Very nice day for Bichette. 2 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. .30 pitch. Called strike. Just nipped the outside corner with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Bo Bichette actually started to take off that shin guard. I don't know if that was just acting or not, but pretty good pitch down and away.
Now the 3-1. Up and in, ball 4, and a walk to Bichette puts 2 aboard. This 9th inning is brought to you by new pizza from Pizza Pizza. Get a huge 18-inch double XL 3-topping pizza for just $19.99. Bigger slices, bigger bites, only at Pizza Pizza. Actually Canadian. Cal Raleigh out to the hill along with the infielders for the Mariners. Talking this one over. This is a big spot for Troy Taylor, 12th rounder by the Mariners in 2022 out of UC Irvine. He started the year on the injured list due to a lat strain, and he's been up and down now 3 times. They call him up today, and the Mariners are trailing, but only by 2 in the 9th. He's facing the top of the order guys.
He's got good stuff, though. That last fastball he threw was 97 miles an hour. He's got a pretty good slider. It's a big spot for him, though, facing Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and a guy standing at second base.
First and second, one out. First pitch is tagged. Right field, sinking and down for a hit. Coming around third, Heineman with a late break, and he stops and heads back to third base. Had to wait to make sure that ball got down. So it's bases loaded for the Blue Jays as Bichette goes up to second, and Vladdy's at first with his first hit of the night to make it an 11-game hit streak.
Well, Guerrero hit that ball so hard, and Leody Taveras out in right field was kind of playing in that Carlos Fablas, Blue Jays third base coach, had to hold Tyler Heineman at third base. That's a big break for the Seattle Mariners.
Bases loaded, 1 out. In the bottom of the 8th, the Mariners loaded the bases with no outs and didn't score. Now can the Blue Jays really punish them for leaving those runners on base? Pitch here to Dalton Varsha. Swing and a miss. 98 elevated, 0-1. Troy Taylor brought up today because Trent Thornton went on the injured list. Is 0-1. High, 1 ball, 1 strike. Heineman on third, Bichette second, Guerrero first. 1-1. Hit back foul straight into the netting, right behind home plate, 1-2. 3 straight fastballs from the right-hander Troy Taylor. Hasn't used the sweeper or the changeup yet. His 1-2 pitch. Outside with the breaking ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Righty set. Kicks and deals. Swinging a fly ball. Left field. Backing up Mastrobuoni. Tagging at third, Heineman. Mastrobuoni makes the catch. Running into the ball. Heineman headed for the plate. Here's the throw. It bounces in offline all the way to the backstop. Runners hold at first and second, but the run comes in to score from third. Sac fly to Alton Varsho. Blue Jays add an important run to the lead, up 6-3.
Well, Mastrobuoni out in left field did a good job getting behind that baseball. Gave himself a chance to make a good throw to home plate, but Tyler Heineman too quick and scores that run relatively easily.
Heineman getting some high fives and maybe some chirps from his teammates after his awkward base hit that started this inning, but the Blue Jays get a run, their first run since the third, and now it's first and second, 2 outs for George Springer. Pitch home. Called strike. Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth, Ben Williamson, the 9-hitter, and then J.P. Crawford and Jorge Polanco will hit for the Mariners. The 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's also a huge run for Jeff Hoffman, who's warming up in that bullpen right now for the Blue Jays. It's much easier to save a ball game up 3 than up 2.
Troy Taylor in right now is 1-1. Wicked moving slider, but it misses down and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Sure, the Blue Jays would love to add one more. Sit down Hoffman, or at least slow him for a moment. Think about bringing someone else in. 2-1. Swinging a fly ball, center field. Rodriguez back at the warning track, makes the catch, and ends the inning. A run for the Blue Jays on a pair of hits. They take a 6-3 lead to the bottom of the ninth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays, and your DIY a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep, because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Middle lane fastball, but he puts it by Cruz. 2 down.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you. The Blue Jays lead the Mariners 6-3 as we head to the bottom of the ninth inning at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk tonight. Solo edition of the postgame show for me, as it has been all week. You can reach me via the text line this evening, 590-590. Name and location. That is the People's text line. And as you guys know, it is always open. Standard data and messaging rates may apply. Blue Jays Baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. The Jays lead the M's 6-3 at T-Mobile Park. The bottom of the ninth is coming up with the call. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. The closer, Jeff Hoffman, is into the ballgame. And just like the guy that came in before him, and Jimmy Garcia, trying to get back on track after a couple of tough outings in a row. He's got a 4.24 ERA in 16 games. Righty deals home to Ben Williamson, and it's a slider for a strike. Pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 9-hitter Williamson leads off, 6-3 Blue Jays. Right on right, Hoffman's 0-1. Spiked the splitter, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, over Jeff Hoffman's last couple of outings where he's given up 6 earned runs, the stuff has still been pretty good for him. It's just the location and the command of his pitches.
Fastball, splitter, slider for Hoffman. 1-1. Is a fastball hit foul, right side out of play, 1-2. Seven saves on the season for Jeff Hoffman, 19 in his major league career. His pitch. Swing, no, a check swing. Oh, he did go. A call by Nick Lentz, but he does not ask for appeal. Ben Williamson offered at a slider down and away, and there's 1 out.
And that's something that Jeff Hoffman hasn't gotten over the last couple of outings, the big first out of an inning. Once you get the first out of the inning, everything else sort of falls into place. A big swing and a miss there on that last pitch.
He does get the top of the order now. Here's J.P. Crawford hitting for a 5th time today, 1 for 4. Right on left, Hoffman's pitch. Check swing on a fastball elevated, appeal to third, and he did not go, according to Edwin Jimenez. Ball 1. Hoffman with a deep breath, he rocks and deals. Foul ball. Hobbling around now is Crawford. He slammed that ball, I think, into his lead right leg, but we're going to have to see a second look there to be sure.
He is struggling right now, taking about 10 or 11 steps outside of that batter's box. Like you said, kind of just hobbling around.
It was a back foot slider, so the momentum took the ball towards his body. And note, actually, it is back foot. So you don't hit that many foul balls off of your back leg, more often off your front leg.
You do when you're fooled.
True. 1-1. Slider for a strike, called strike, and he fooled him again, 1-2. 1 out, bases empty, 6-3 Toronto, bottom of the 9th. Hoffman's pitch. Hit back foul, still a ball and 2 strikes.
That's exactly where he wanted it. That elevated fastball, 98 miles an hour, just above that strike zone. A great pitch. But J.P. Crawford was able to just get a piece of it.
One, 2 again. And he sails it to the backstop. Tipped off of Heineman's glove, but that one was well high and outside. Hoffman licks his fingers, wipes them on his pants, looking for a little grip on the baseball in a 2-2 count. Righty set, glove just below the belt. And the 2-2. Hit on the ground, foul.
That fastball absolutely ate up J.P. Crawford. Right in on the hands, and luckily for him, he was able to foul it off, but that's a great pitch from Jeff Hoffman.
97 on that one. He will reach 99. 2-2. Fastball up top at 97. Missed high and outside. Full count. Three-two pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Ball bounces to the backstop. Heineman fields off the ricochet. Skips the throw to first, and Guerrero can't make the dig. J.P. Crawford safe at first. That ball bounced through, hit the brick wall backstop, ricocheted to Heineman. It was a frantic play. He picked it up bare hand on the grass, threw from the foul side, underthrew it, and Vlad got the glove in front of it, but didn't come up with it on the bounce throw.
That was a wild play. Tyler Heineman throwing on the run. I don't love that. A lot of catchers do that They throw on the run without planting their feet, but Vladimir Guerrero Jr. probably should have had that short hop.
First pitch to Jorge Polanco, called a strike, 0-1. The good news for the Blue Jays, because they got the insurance run, this doesn't mean the tying runs at the plate. It's still on deck. 6-3 Blue Jays, runner on first, 1 out, bottom 9. Right on left, the pitch to Polanco. Line and a foul ball right side. That got scary for the Blue Jays as it just missed being extra bases.
Yeah, that was a split finger that was almost right down the middle, maybe a little bit at the bottom of the strike zone. Jorge Polanco was out in front just a little bit, got it off the end of the bat, and hit it foul by about 2 or 3 feet. Maybe not 2 or 3 feet, maybe 1 foot.
It's real close. 0-2. Swing and a miss. He really got on top of the splitter that time. Polanco waved at a pitch out of the zone, and there are 2 down.
Well, that's the way to do it. You throw one in the strike zone, and then you throw one out of the strike zone. Looked like a strike, and then just dove below that box. What a pitch. A huge out in this ball game.
So already 3 strikeouts in the inning for Jeff Hoffman, but because of the drop third strike, the inning continues. Runner on first, Julio Rodriguez is up, and now pitch comm issues for Hoffman. Heineman and Hoffman indicating to the home plate ump that they can't hear each other, and now they appear to be all right. Hoffman steps back on. J.P. Crawford on first. 6-3 for the Blue Jays. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Righty shakes off a sign, and now sets. His pitch to Julio Rodriguez. No, he's going to step off again. And he can't hear him again. So the home plate ump, Nick Lentz, is going to walk out with Heineman to the mound. And I don't see why you mess around here. Just get a new pitch comm device out on the field.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to agree. This is a huge spot in this game. You don't want to mess around. John Schneider was out of the dugout trying to figure out what's going on, and I think they're going to get him a new one.
You don't want something like this to cause a pitch clock violation or to throw Hoffman off, so he slips the new one into his cap, licks his fingers, and Jeff Hoffman is walking back up the hill.
Does the umpire come out just to make sure that it's not a mound visit and they're not talking about what pitches to throw, scouting reports, stuff like that? I figured. Sneaky.
So we're good to go again. Runner on first. 2 outs, 6-3 Blue Jays, bottom of the 9th. Hoffman's pitch to Julio Rodriguez. Fastball cut on and missed. 98 in the zone, strike 1.
That is a great fastball. That's the fastball right there that we've missed over the last couple of outings for Jeff Hoffman.
It's a 4-seamer, but it's got a little bit of that 2-seam tail to it. Moving just at the last moment to his arm side. Hoffman turns his shoulders, looks at first, now sets. Crawford leading off. And the 0-1. Bounced foul. Good slider at the knees. And Jeff Hoffman is ahead of Julio Rodriguez, 0-2. Mariners down to their last strike. Blue Jays fans in Seattle on their feet. Runner on first, 2 down. 6-3 Toronto. And the 0-2. Hit on the ground is short. Bichette has it, flips to second, and the Blue Jays hold on to win the game. 6-3, the final score over the AL West leading Mariners in the series opener.
What a huge win for the Toronto Blue Jays against one of the best teams in all of Major League Baseball. A lot of great performances, but none better than Jimmy Garcia in that 8th inning. Had the bases loaded, nobody out, and he got out of it without giving up a run. How about that?
Blue Jays back-end bullpen comes up massive. The bats turn in a second straight solid performance, and Toronto has won their last 2 games. 6-3, the final score in favor of the Blue Jays. We'll step aside when we come back, wrap it up, and get you over to Blue Jays Talk with Show Ali. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Which Looney Dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with swagger and style? You could be a Rizzy Glizzy. Maybe you're an architect stacking your Looney Dogs up high. Do you walk into the ballpark with the confidence of an MVD? Then you're the most valuable dogger. This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. No matter which Looney Dogger you are, you'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the ballpark. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Every Tuesday home game. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Siding isn't just siding. It's your home's first impression and first line of defense. That's why pros reach for James Hardy, the name that built its reputation one rugged, good-looking board at a time. Engineered to stand up to Canada's wildest weather, designed to stand out on any street, and always priced right at Timber Mart. So when the job calls for smart, strong, and sharp, you'll know what to do. Timber Mart, Canada's building center.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fastball painted at the bottom of the zone, and that's back-to-back strikeouts.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays baseball after a Blue Jays 6-3 win over the Seattle Mariners. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. We'll take a look back at this one, starting, Chris, with the starting pitching matchup. Luis Castillo, Kevin Gausman, both coming off really good starts. High expectations always when Castillo is on the mound. And the Blue Jays, right away in the first inning, had some long at-bats, worked the pitch count, and came through, especially with Addison Barger's two-run double.
Well, you could tell early on that Castillo didn't really have the command of most of his pitches today, specifically that fastball. He throws that fastball, whether it's a sinker or four-seam fastball, 68% of the time. So if he doesn't have the command of that pitch, it's almost like he's a different guy, and he really was a different guy for the majority of this game, giving up 5 earned runs, walking 2. But that first inning was really big for the Blue Jays, probably a confidence builder. They jumped all over him, and they looked good pretty much from pitch number 1.
They set the table in that first inning by taking the 2-0 lead again. Barger with the 2-run double. Barger would be a constant theme in this game because in the third, with Toronto up 2-0, 2 outs and the bases empty, Barger doubled to start a rally. Ernie Clement came up with a single, and then Nathan Lucas stepped up to the plate next with the play of the game. Lucas twirls around the bat. Now points it up right toward the sky. Now he'll bring it back to his left shoulder. Waggles it around a bit. 1-2. Swinging a fly ball. Right field. Going back to Veras at the warning track. It's gone! Second of the season for Nathan Lucas. A 2-run shot. It's Blue Jays 5, Mariners nothing in the third.
That was a big, big part of this game. The Blue Jays looked pretty good for the majority of this game on the offensive side, but Nathan Lucas slowly starting to look like the guy that I thought he would be, the professional hitter, putting together good at-bats. He comes up with a huge 2-run homer there in the third inning that put the Blue Jays up 5-0.
Gave the Blue Jays some breathing room, although the Mariners struck back for 1 in the bottom of the third. And then in the sixth inning, Kevin Gausman, who had been fantastic through the first 5, slowed down a little bit, allowed 3 hits in a row with 1 out. 1 run had already scored in that inning. After he came out, Brendan Little allows one of the inherited runners to score. So all of a sudden, from 5-0 at one point, it goes to 5-3. And pretty much from the 6th inning on, it was a tense ball game. None more tense, though, in terms of innings than the 8th. You already talked about it off the end of the broadcast, Chris. A lot of questions over the last week or so about Jimmy Garcia, Jeff Hoffman, after they had both struggled in a couple different games. Jimmy Garcia comes in protecting a 2-run lead. Single, walk. The bases are loaded with nobody out. And somehow, some way, including a deflected liner for a fielder's choice out at the plate, he strands 3 runners and doesn't allow a run.
Well, I think the most frustrating thing for me is watching those first 3 at-bats in that inning. His stuff wasn't great. His fastball was anywhere from 94 to 97 miles an hour, which is fine for the average pitcher, but not for Jimmy Garcia in a big situation like that. So the bases are loaded, and then all of a sudden it's like he flips a switch and he's throwing 98, 99 with the fastball. He's locating that sweeper really, really well. that's the guy that we saw for the first 14 ball games of his season, and that's the guy that we need going forward. If he can be that guy, the back end of this Blue Jays bullpen, I think, is pretty safe.
Jimmy Garcia did figure it out to strand all those runners, and then the Blue Jays, importantly, added on one run in the ninth inning. So Jeff Hoffman came out to close with a 3-run lead, and he actually struck out 3 in a row, but there was a dropped third strike. So J.P. Crawford got down to first base, and with 2 outs, he forced a ground ball from Julio Rodriguez that won the game. The Blue Jays took it 6-3. The final score, 6 runs for Toronto on 10 hits, no errors, 7 left on base. Not only did they homer again, they went 4 for 12 with runners in scoring position, a .333 average. Kevin Gausman picks up the win. Seattle 3 runs, 9 hits, 1 error, 9 left. Gausman's win, he's 3-3. Castillo with the loss, he's also 3-3, and an 8th save and 9 tries for Jeff Hoffman. 2-hour, 52-minute affair in front of about 31,500 people at T-Mobile Park, and the Blue Jays win the game to go to 18-20. The Mariners are 22-15. Game coming up tomorrow with the same first pitch time, 9:40 p.m. Eastern, 6:40 p.m. Pacific. After 2 veterans with big track records faced off today, a little bit younger of a matchup coming up tomorrow. Bowden Francis is on the hill for the Blue Jays against the 23-year-old rookie Logan Evans for the Mariners. Again, 9:40 Eastern, 6:40 Pacific. First pitch on the Sportsnet Radio Network. For our technical director, Tom Young, our host and producer, Show Ali, and my partner, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a great rest of your night. And get your texts in at 590 because a second straight winning edition of Blue Jays Talk with Show Ali starts right.
Bad and not realizing the ball was going to fall fair, then diving into first to beat the throw. I mean, what a wild, weird game. Like, probably the weirdest, strangest game this season so far. But hey, I mean, it still counts in the win column as one. The Jays pick up their second win in a row, a 6-3 victory to open this 3-game set in Seattle as they now improve to 18-20 on the season. You're listening to Jays Talk. Show Ali with you. We're live on the Sportsnet Radio Network. We're also streaming on sportsnet.ca and on the Sportsnet app. And again, as with the rest of the games this week, because the Stanley Cup playoffs are in full swing and the Leafs were in action earlier tonight, keeping everyone pretty busy, in addition to it being quite late. Once more, Tom Young and myself here at Baseball Controls. So texts are the way to reach us tonight. 590-590, name and location. The People's Text line always open. Standard messaging and data rates may apply. We'll get back to taking your calls on the weekend and beyond. So I do promise to read as many of your texts once again as we can squeeze in here tonight. I definitely thought there was a moment during the Jimmy Garcia 8th inning. There was a moment where I did not think it was going to go so well for Toronto sports tonight, generally speaking, especially after Brad Marchand did the thing again. But hey, Jimmy Garcia cleaned up his own mess. Jeff Hoffman came through, and the Blue Jays hang on to a 6-3 win. Wild how the narrative of this game changed so wildly, right? I mean, talk about roller coasters, right? They build a 5-0 lead. They let the Mariners just scratch and claw their way back, inching back into it. I mean, something we've been painfully familiar with this season. The offense going ice cold after the Lucas home run. Gausman kind of I don't know if he just ran out of gas. It just looked a little shaky at the very tail end of that start. He gets pulled. Like I said, Jimmy Garcia loads the bases, single walk, and then cleans it all up without letting in a run. And at the time, what was a 2-run game, I mean, the Heineman play with him diving to get aboard at first base ends up being the 6th run to give Hoffman some insurance, which I guess he didn't necessarily need in the end, but just crazy stuff. 590-590, name and location is where you can reach me again on the text line. And I want to see, this one actually made me laugh. Morgan in Antigonish, Nova Scotia. Well, Show, I think we can finally put the Show Ali curse behind us after huge back-to-back wins. Barger is a stud. Please make him the everyday third baseman, please. I'll hang up and listen. And there's another one here from Mauricio in Etobicoke. Please play Barger full-time, regular, consistent ABs against left-handers and right-handers, and give him leeway, give him some confidence, give him some rope. Jimenez, when he returns, plays second. Clement needs to be on the bench or DFA'd. he's been ineffective. I don't know if I'd go like so far to say that Ernie Clement needs to be DFA'd, but I'm with you that like it certainly feels. And again, it's like one game. I think you want to see him do it a little bit more consistently before you get like fully on the Barger train here. But like, I'm definitely not going to argue with the idea that Barger was the story of this game, and it feels like you have a slightly higher ceiling maybe than with Ernie Clement, if that makes sense, right? I mean, and again, you guys, beyond Morgan and Mauricio, what do you guys think about Barger? I would love to know at 590, because I honestly think we've had like every possible discussion about him and his offense in particular at this point. And I mean, tonight, right? 3 hits from Barger, all 3 being doubles. He absolutely ripped to the wall. One of them a 2-run double. I know many of you don't care about the exit velo on balls, and I've been trying to be good about not getting too hype about exit velo. But the 3rd double in the 8th inning was smoked at 116.5 miles an hour. That is the hardest hit ball of his entire career. On defense too, I mean, I guess we've gotten a little more used to seeing Barger play really great defense, but I mean, even tonight, even for him, he made some great plays, right? He had the great play right at the third base bag, or just past the bag, I suppose, where he leapt up and he stabs the ball out of the air with runners at the corners and 2 outs. So he saved Gausman some runs there. He had a laser beam throw to Vladdy at first. So I think Vladdy was joking around mostly on this, but he kind of like takes the glove off and looks at his hand because Barger threw the ball to him so hard. In the 7th inning with Brendan Little on the mound in relief of Gausman at this point, Crawford rifles a ball on the ground right to Barger, who makes the sliding grab on one knee and pops up to shoot that thing to Vladdy again. So just pretty great stuff from Barger tonight. You know what? Why don't we hear a little bit from Addison Barger? We actually have the post-game chat that he did, the very brief one he did with Hazel May. Before we continue chatting about Barger, and I read some more of your texts about the great night from him, let's hear from tonight's third baseman. 3 hits, including a 2-run double. Here's Addison Barger with Hazel.
Big night for Addison Barger. 3 doubles, a couple of RBIs, a run scored, and a fine defensive play. But Addison, before I ask you about your night, what was your reaction standing at third base watching Jimmy